All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of ASAP in the Morning. It is your boy Pride, joined by Jay McLovin and Dustin. Chris will be here momentarily. Jay, how you feeling?
Well, I'm doing pretty good, especially after Westbrook finally got benched.
And we were literally just talking about it. Frank Vogel, he's sick of the noise, man.
I just think it's just showing, man. The Lakers are in such turmoil. There's such turmoil. And listen, I'm not a Lakers fan, man. I'm a Rockets fan, and with all the craziness that people are talking about the Lakers are going to be this, that, and the other, man. I hate to say it, man, but I love the misery.
I'm glad you love it, Dustin. How you feeling today?
Feeling good. Alex Caruso returned last night, and the Bulls look like a completely different team once he got back to the lineup. So that's a good start.
It's kind of crazy, y'all. I was watching another show earlier, and one of my dudes, Steve Rizzer, cool dude. I like him. Smart guy. Man, he was screaming at the top of his lungs the Bulls were frauds. He was screaming it. And I'm like, wow, let's see what happens. He says they'll be lucky if they get out of the first round. I was like, well, let's see what happens. What a time to be alive. I'm being a good boy today. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna fail. I know I'm gonna fail, but at least y'all can't say I'm not trying. We got a good show for y'all, and we're gonna start it off with this: the MVP and the NBA MVP award. Ja Morant had a solid case, and so you look at it, and the Grizzlies are 11-2 without him. KD's out. And even though they say it's going to be for about a month, it's probably going to be a little longer because they're going to want to they'd rather be safe than sorry when it comes to him. Steph looks like Russell Westbrook from 3 ever since he broke the record. Everyone who had a legitimate case, all of a sudden, just has, I don't want to say they fell off the planet, but they're just making this race wide open. Because remember, before it was just a 2-man race, right? It was between Steph and KD. Then after that, it was them, but DeMar DeRozan kind of deserves some conversation. Then after that, it was Ja Morant. Now all of them kind of have this situation where you can make a knock on them. Do you believe that this MVP award is wide open? I'm gonna start with you, Jay.
I mean, I think it comes down to just two guys. I think it comes down to, like you said, Morant and Joker, man. I think those are the two guys it comes down to, just based on, what they mean to their team and how their team is performing. And like I said, for me, I'm still a big guy on Joker, man. I think Joker deserves it, man. He's putting up better numbers than his original last year's MVP. So you look at, he got the MVP last year, and now his numbers are better. They've increased. So I don't know how you don't give it to him. And nothing to take away from Ja Morant, because Ja Morant is amazing. But, Joker, like he said, he hasn't had a lot of players. And you can also make the same case for Memphis. But I feel like, Ja Morant, I feel like with the Memphis Grizzlies, they still have a lot more to prove where – I don't know, man. I think Joker. I think he's earned it. I think he's just. I think people want the sexier pick would be to go with Morant, right? He's a sexy guy, and Joker's not the sexy guy. He's just not. But he's dependable and he fights.
Yep. Real quick. We're gonna talk about this. I'm actually was gonna put my 2 cents. The Sixers could have had Healed Barneston, 2 first rounders, And also, and by the way, Snake Sports Talk Show, if I'm wrong, please correct me. Another trade proposal, because after they rejected this, they were willing to
Halliburton.
replace Buddy Hield with what's homeboy's name? Halliburton.
Halliburton.
They were willing to replace Buddy Hield for Halliburton, and the Sixers still said no. I promise you we're going to talk about that because the 76ers are doing everything in their power to look dumb. But like I said, we'll get there. Dustin, we started off saying it was a two-man race between KD and Steph. Now, do you agree with Jay that it's still a two-man race, but between Jokic and Ja Morant?
Before I touch on that, I'll have some insight for you on Monday because I will actually be with Halliburton tomorrow. He's coming to Wisconsin for his retirement ceremony. He's having his jersey retired at his high school tomorrow.
Ooh, lit.
I will be at his game for that, so I will most likely be talking to him kind of about the trade stuff tomorrow. So I can probably fill you guys in on some of that on Monday.
Please do so.
In terms of the MVP, I still think it's a four-person race. And the reason why I say that is we've seen what Kevin Durant means to the Nets, and we've seen him carry that team, especially in the playoffs where he single-handedly almost beat the Bucks on his own last year. Mm-hmm. Now that he's out for 4 to 6 weeks or whatever it is, we're going to see the position that the Nets are in when he comes back. If the Nets continue to be one of the best teams in the East, well, then he's not going to be considered for the MVP because they're still winning. But if the Nets start to fall a little bit in the standings, you're going to have to throw his name in there because that shows you how valuable he is to the Nets organization. Same thing with Curry. They got off to such a hot start this year without Klay Thompson that even if he's in a shooting slump right now, which he is, shooters are going to go through those shooter slumps. Shooters shoot themselves into slumps, but then they shoot themselves out of slumps too. That's just what shooters do. But look at how bad Golden State was last year without Curry and Thompson. And that shows you what Curry means to that Warriors organization. Even with Thompson, when he's on the floor, Golden State is a million times better than what they are without him on the floor. So you got to throw his name into consideration because of that reason, just because the team wins when he's on the floor, regardless if he's shooting the ball well or not. And then what Jay said about Jokic. Jokic, I think, is the favorite right now just based on the numbers he's putting up. He won the MVP last year, and he's got better numbers this year. And if you take him out of the Denver Nuggets, that is not a playoff team at all, and they'd be lucky to even be in
the play-in.
They'd be lucky to be in the play-in conversation. So just adding one player alone that makes you a playoff contender, that's got MVP written all over it because that's what most valuable player means. It means you're the most valuable player to your team. But, I mean, outside of those three, I mean, Ja Morant, he's going to get votes, which he should, but Memphis wins without him on the court, so that just shows you how well-balanced Memphis is. LeBron James, is going to get votes even though his team is terrible just because it's LeBron James. Giannis is going to get votes just because it's Giannis. But to me, the top three are still Curry, Durant, and Jokic just because of what they mean to their team and how the team plays when they're not on the floor.
Yeah, I've been one of the few people saying this. I believe it's Jokic that should be in the MVP. I think it's just him or bust. And I understand Steph broke the record. I understand it. And obviously Kevin Durant is playing phenomenally. But what Jokic is doing is literally transforming a team. When he's out there, the Nuggets look legit. And when he's not, all of a sudden, this team looks like the Cleveland Cavaliers from yesteryear. Let's just be honest here.
Yeah, that's true. No, you're right.
Let's be honest here. I saw a stat about the plus minus when Jokic, like the Nuggets plus minus with Jokic on the floor, they're a plus 11, I think it was. Without him, they're a minus 24. That type of impact you see when you compare it to a guy like LeBron James, maybe even Kevin Durant. Like, that's the type of impact you would see. Jokic is doing that same impact, but nobody really wants to talk about it. It's weird. I don't know why. I feel like it's honestly Jokic because right now he's defining what it means to be an MVP.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Every time Jokic is on the floor, they all look lost. They look confused. They look like they're just kind of waiting for him to come back. That's really all it is. They're just waiting for him to come back. And then when he comes back, they're like, oh, so this is how you play basketball. And then all of a sudden they know how to play. And all of a sudden Aaron Gordon isn't giving you 9 no more. He's giving you like 24, you know?
And the thing is, too, with Jokic, he's basically a 7-foot version of what Magic Johnson was in the 90s, just more scoring. He scores, he assists, he rebounds, he makes steals, everything that Magic Johnson did in the 90s, just at a better level because he's 7 feet tall.
That's it. That's straight up. And that's what he does. Like, and he's phenomenal. I like me some Nikola Jokic. He's a phenomenal baller. He does his thing, but again, he plays, you know, his style of play isn't really something that casual fans take to. You know? He just plays, you know, he'll have a couple highlights here and there, you know what I mean? But for the most part, he's just an unathletic guy who just beats everyone, and he doesn't beat it with fancy dribble moves. He just beats it by just playing ball. That's all he does. Like, let's be honest. Like, he's not the type of dude who'll just come and you know what I mean, kind of just, you know, do that all that extra dribbling. He just shows up and plays. That's really it. And I don't know. Ron, MVP award. First of all, how you doing today, my guy?
I'm doing incredible. Thank you.
I'm glad you feel good. I'm so glad you feel better.
I haven't been able to talk sports in a while, so I'm happy to get on here.
And we're glad you're here, my guy. We're glad you're here. By the way, congratulations to your Rams for winning. As you know, I thought the Cardinals would win. You guys won. Hats off to you guys. Congratulations. Let's see if you guys can keep it up heading into the divisional round against Tampa Bay.
They look good. I was still disappointed in them. They didn't cover the spread, so I felt like they could have did better.
Yeah, could have done better. Imagine. But let me just bring it back to the NBA real quick. So obviously it was a 2-man race originally, Steph and KD. Now each guy does kind of, you can have an argument on why each guy shouldn't be it. Let me ask you something, you know, obviously, please let me know how you feel about it. Do you believe that Jokic should be in the conversation, or do you treat him how you treat DeMar DeRozan?
No, without a doubt. He's the reigning MVP. Of course he's in the conversation.
Does he deserve it, though?
Absolutely. He's carrying Denver by himself. Putting up 50-point triple-doubles. It's a bad boy.
His plus-minus on the year is plus 262. 262. The next highest.
Did he win it?
Ron, don't do that. Don't do that, Ron. Don't do that, Ron. Ron, please. Listen, Ron. Yesterday, I almost died on air. Almost. I don't want to die again, Ron. Please.
I got you.
By the way, real quick, someone says Joker and Embiid both deserve. I don't think Embiid deserves it. I don't know.
Well, it's been a fun episode, guys.
I don't know. Am I bugging for that, please? Because if I'm crazy, please let me know. I don't know. Me personally, right now, I just think it's Jokic. And then if KD comes back and he's fine, I think, great. But I think there's I don't know, 5 other guys who frankly deserve to be in the MVP conversation over Embiid. Jay, am I crazy?
No, I don't think so. I think, like I said, I think Joker is just, like I said, I think what you can say, I do think that what Embiid did with that 50 piece in 27 is impressive.
Great. No, of course, I understand. But I get it, but however, the MVP award is an entire season thing.
Exactly, and that's my point.
So again, 15 and 27 minutes, and he shot 17 for 23. Phenomenal. Trust me, I'm not knocking him for it. But to use that one game to try to catapult him
Right.
in there, I don't know, man. That's
No. I still think Joker, like you said, over the season, he definitely deserves it. Like I said, to my point, his numbers have gotten better since the reigning MVP numbers. So I don't know. I mean, he said, okay, I gave you MVP numbers, and then this year I gave you even better than the MVP numbers. What more do you want me to do?
So, Ron, you're shaking your head at me. You probably want to hit me. You probably want to leave this bad. Leave this show real bad. So let me ask you, what's with the hostility, Ron?
Oh man, the disrespect towards Joel Embiid. The leaving did cross my mind, Pride. I'm not gonna lie. I can't believe, Dustin, you gotta save me. Are you with them as well? Joel Embiid, no MVP consideration?
No, well, I'm not saying no MVP consideration, but the way I'm looking at it, I can name 5 guys at least who deserve more and to be in the MVP conversation even more. And the MVP conversation, it's not 10 guys, or it's not. It's typically 5 guys until you get to the top 3. So
I mean,
if you got KD, you got Steph, right? You still got them, Jokic, Ja Morant, Giannis. Again, this is ignoring LeBron James. You know what I mean? So I'm already naming 6 dudes. So it's like, I don't know. Are we gonna have a top 10 just so that way we can get other guys in there? Or am I crazy, Dustin?
We can go through the list, but a lot of those guys do not get MVP nods over Embiid. We can start with Giannis.
Like who though?
We can start with Giannis. Why should he be considered MVP over Embiid? What has he done?
The only knock that I have on Embiid for the MVP, and this is not a disrespect toward MVP, but he's your prototypical big man that scores and gets rebounds. Giannis gives you the assists. Jokic gives you the assists and other things like that. And I think that's ultimately why Embiid will not be considered in like the top 4, top 5, just because he's your prototypical scoring, rebounding big man who gets you block shots.
By the way, Jokic
doesn't have those double games.
Hey, Jokic is averaging 4 more rebounds than Embiid. Just
and like 3 more assists too. And like 3 more assists too, right?
Let's be honest. The point difference is 28 for Embiid to 25 or 26.
It's like 25.9 or something like that. It's almost
so we're not, yeah. So and then watch this. How many players has Jokic had to play without? And what does Embiid have? Embiid's had a full cast. I'm just saying. Hey,
Ben Simmons,
don't get mad, Ron. It's kind of true, though. Don't you think? It's kind of true. You can't look past that.
How are we not calling the Philadelphia 76ers a dumpster fire right now? Every single thing since losing to the Hawks has been chaos, and you guys just made it sound like it was.
No. Hold on.
No. I had to jump on for this.
Rob,
the disrespect is real.
But how though? Please, because again, no one has not rebuted a single point saying it's disrespect. Mind you, Joel Embiid was top 2 in MVP last year. He deserved that. A lot of people believe he should have won it last year, right? So last year, of course, let's not get it twisted. Again, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but again, I'm not gonna like when you do your MVP, it's 5 guys. I'm not gonna increase it to 10 just so I can sneak somebody that I like in there.
I get
that's
you,
just me.
I get you.
That's just all I'm saying. Because remember, we're saying 5. I took out DeMar DeRozan to put in Ja Morant. If I was a cornball, I could have been like, all right, cool. I'm bringing it up to 7. You know what I mean? So that's just all I'm saying. Now, if you want to have him beat in y'all 5, cool, no problem. But in my opinion, and Jay agrees with me, I think you can make an argument that there's at least 5 dudes who deserve the MVP more than Joel Embiid. That's just all I'm saying. Go ahead, Rob.
I get what you're saying. And Dustin, I understand what you're saying as far as he's not he doesn't contribute as much as Giannis does as far as assists and everything like that. But look at the way Embiid scores. He has changed the way that you look at a big man. This dude is moving like a guard, bro. Like you see Dirk Nowitzki, you see MJ Kobe fadeaways. The way he stretches the floor, you cannot deny that his scoring has an impact on what the 76ers can do. Look at the spacing for Danny Green. Look at the spacing for Seth Curry. You cannot stick Joel Embiid one way. Like when you see the 76ers on your schedule, you know you in for a long night if you're the center that has to guard Joel Embiid, bro. Come on, man. 50 points in 27 minutes,
And it's the
dog.
same thing
50 and 10, man.
Jokic.
He averaging 28 and 10 on the year. Are you serious?
Nobody's
He
afraid of
doesn't
Jokic. Stop it.
Come on, bro. Come on, y'all.
You said they're not afraid of Jokic? Yeah, dog. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
Wait,
out of your
and you
mind,
don't think
Out of
that
your
how well
mind.
he's playing hasn't transformed the game as well. I don't know, man.
And listen,
The guy is phenomenal.
look at what
He's got good
Joel
handles, too.
look at
Go
what
ahead,
Joel
He has good
Embiid
handles too. I mean, I don't get that.
but look at what Joel Embiid is going through. You have a fiasco going on
And
in
look
what
Philadelphia.
Joker's
man.
going through.
Look what
He's
he's
going
going
through.
through.
But let's be fair here. Hold on. Let's be fair here. The quote dumpster fire is because of one individual.
Well, he
Let's
did
be fair
play
here.
like dumpster
It's
fire.
because of it's. Hold on. Regardless, if you want to say Ben Simmons played like garbage or not, that's fine. I get it. But regardless of the fact, let's be honest, he's missing Ben Simmons and Ben Simmons alone. Let's be fair here. Jokic is dealing with no Jamal Murray, his second best player, no Michael Porter Jr., who should have been their third best player. Now, who knows, especially with the back injury, who knows how he's going to pan out, and an inconsistent at best Aaron Gordon. So I understand.
And none of those guys you named are all-stars. We're talking about almost a defensive
by the
player
way,
of the year.
let's not look past.
We're talking about almost a defensive player of the
I'm
year.
so
in
happy
Ben
you
Simmons.
came on here, Rob. I don't even got to say anything.
An
Hold on.
all-star
Don't
in
look
Ben
past-
Simmons. Come on, bro.
Hey, don't look past the 49-point triple-double that he put up against the Clippers. Your boy did it against the Magic. I'm just saying.
You know what? And I can't lie. Jokic,
I'm just saying. Hey, 49 points is one shot 50, and he got a triple-double. What more you want from him?
This is not to discredit Jokic. My argument for
Embiid, Jokic a little bit with this Embiid crap.
Jokic is a monster. A 49-point triple-double. I understand. You know, he's the current MVP. I'm not gonna ever discredit Jokic. As a matter of fact, with Jokic and Embiid, let's just say that the NBA now has a center of attention. No pun intended. But what I'm saying is,
corny.
if you're gonna look at Jokic and then just overlook Embiid, how can you possibly do that?
But again, you're asking me how I could possibly do that. But Rob, I've said it 8,374 times on how I'm doing it, brother.
Hey,
like,
if it means that you have a top 7 candidates then to include what this
I'm
man
not
is doing,
I'm
then
not
you're gonna
doing
have
that.
to have a top 7 candidates then.
I'm not doing that. I'm going with 5. That's just me. I'm going with 5. And like I said, there's 5 guys you can list that deserves to be in the MVP candidacy more than Joel Embiid. Now, this is not saying he's a bum. This is not saying he's horrible. This is not saying he's dog water. I'm not saying
But that's a false statement. There isn't
How's it a
5
false statement
players
when I
better
just
than
named
him,
6 gentlemen?
especially when you go look at the Vegas odds and he's in 3rd place just right
And the
now.
same Vegas odds had the Brooklyn Nets winning the championship last year. What happened? Oh,
They were the favorite. They came a toenail short.
Hey, no, not to mention that Joker is shooting 56%, and your boy Embiid is shooting 49%. That's below half. I'm just gonna put that out. That's another
Joker is overrated. He puts
Oh,
up all these stats. I can't
What?
wait. I can't wait till Jamal Murray comes back here in a couple of weeks. MJP is looking good. The Nuggets are going to get to the playoffs and get washed as
He had
always.
back surgery. What do you mean he's looking good? He had
I don't
back
know.
surgery.
He was out on the court. He was out on the court warming up yesterday for the game. So I guess he won't be back this year. He looked okay though. But Jamal Murray coming back, his number 2 guy, he should be considered a favorite out west. He should be right up there with Golden State if Jamal Murray comes back and looks good. Let's see what he does. He's so overrated. He's not going to get nothing done. I can't believe it. He got that 1 MVP. That's all he needs. I don't know how he's getting considered for anything higher than Joel Embiid when he's
Because he's
not.
better than Joel Embiid.
He's not. He's
let's
in a
just-
better
just-
situation than Joel Embiid.
Wait.
He
How
has
is
a
he
better
not?
structure than
Give me
Joel
a
Embiid.
countless
He
number of
has a better-
stats where Joker's outperforming him, and he's doing it without his guys.
Nope.
What more do you need?
Joel
Jay,
Embiid
do not
is
fall for the
You're
trap.
playing.
ridiculous.
Jay, look at me.
Joel
Look
Embiid
at me,
is
Jay.
playing in an
Do not
offense
fall for the
that
trap.
does not revolve
Do not
around
fall for the
him.
trap.
There's no
This is Russell
creator.
Westbrook
There's
is
no
innocent
point guard.
all
There's
over
no
again.
system. Joel Embiid
Don't-
is the system.
don't do it.
Meanwhile,
Don't
he's
fall for it.
averaging 30 points
Don't fall
for
for it.
almost the entire month of
I'm not
December and
playing this.
January.
No, I'm not playing this game with you. No, you have absolutely nothing. There's nothing whatsoever to say. You
We can
say
talk
it's
about all these stats, assists, rebounds. Joel Embiid is dominating the NBA, averaging 30 points just because he wants to.
No, he's not averaging 30 points. He's averaging 28. Get your stats right. He's averaging 28.
Over the entire
Don't
season,
try to
over the
overinflate
past
him.
10, 15 games, he's averaging 33.1.
That's
That's
10 or
what we're
15
talking
games.
about.
What about the season?
If Joel Embiid stays healthy and he doesn't, now I don't think he's going to win MVP because he's going to need to rest. I don't think he can keep this up. But they're managing his minutes. They're trying to keep it below 30.
No, I'm not. I'm just not.
If
I'm not
he
wasting
stays
my
healthy
breath.
through the whole season,
I'm not
Joel
wasting my breath.
Embiid.
So we all
will be
agree that
first or
MVP
second
award right now, it's
in
kind of
MVP
open.
voting.
Multiple guys could make their argument for it. Let's see how it goes from here. I'm not even gonna engage it because then Dustin's gonna yell at me, and him yelling is scary. Dustin, don't hit me, please.
Hold that thought. I gotta take a phone call quick.
Nah, go
I'm
ahead.
just
Do your
saying
thing.
the Embiid disrespect is egregious.
It's not disrespect. It's not disrespect.
Five
It's not.
guys better than Embiid.
I
right
just
for MVP.
named them, and it's adorable how I named them, and you refuse to take one off the list.
I took
You have
Giannis
yet
off
to
the
do
list.
that.
I said
And
let's
I've
start
asked you
with
to do that
him.
multiple
The
times.
only person that is higher than Embiid right now in the NBA is Ja Morant. Then it's Embiid. I don't want to hear anybody else.
And okay, nope.
Luka,
See, when you
No.
say stuff like that, and you say it with
Luka?
a straight face,
Luka, no.
I can't listen.
Joker,
I just
no.
simply cannot.
Giannis, no.
I
Kevin
simply
Durant,
cannot.
you can't consider him because he's injured now.
I simply cannot. I simply cannot.
Wow.
I can't. Nah, bro. I can't. You say stuff like that with a straight face. Nope. You lost me there, man. Nope. I can't.
Wow.
I can't.
Goodbye.
I can't because Rob, be honest here. Joel Embiid was not even in the conversation until KD went down. Let's be fair here. Let's be fair. If we're gonna tell the story, please let's tell the full
We're not
story.
in the past, sir. We're
Nobody
in the
talks
present.
about him.
Well,
It doesn't
well,
have to
down,
do with
but all of a
anything.
sudden
KD
he's
is
up.
down.
And
We're
I'm
talking
saying
right now.
There's other
January
guys you can
20th.
mention out there.
regardless of when it happened, it happened. He's in the
Yeah,
conversation now.
what?
I just said that.
Why are you in the past, sir?
He's in the
January
conversation
20th.
now.
Wait, hold on. You're saying why am I quote in the past and you were just sucking it for 15 games?
That's completely different.
That's why I love you guys, man. That's why I love you guys.
It just happened
I'm
last
saying
night.
there's
So we're
five
going
dudes-
just by
there's
last
five
night.
guys I said that you could still make an argument they deserve MVP over Joel Embiid. And again, if your main point is the Vegas odds, handle your thing, Chief.
I think we've named a lot of points outside of Vegas odds. That was the
You
exclamation.
have no. You haven't named any.
We
You
talked
haven't named
about
any. The only
talked
thing
about
this is
team
all we did.
structure.
You said Vegas odds, and then you said behind John Morant, it's Embiid.
we talked about team structure. We talked about
And you lost
the
that point
overall
because
player on the
I
court
just
and
said
how he makes
I
his-
put
the
in
team
other
around
teams
him
who have
better.
bad team structure.
We talked about what they're missing and what they've had
Same
to
here.
overcome.
Same here. I don't get
What
that.
the fuck is going on, bro? All right, no.
So he puts up 50 points on a team that's 8-28.
You know
And
what?
we put up 49 points in a triple-double against a team that's in the play.
Y'all do know Kawhi Leonard and Paul George doesn't play for the
Orlando. What does he
Clippers, right?
score? You got 49 points
Hey
against.
Rob, do they
What does
know
he
that
score?
Kawhi Leonard and Paul
It's
George
dumb.
wasn't playing on the Clippers?
The Nuggets have had
No,
to
it's
overcome
just
Who
more
dumb.
than,
mentioned them?
more than
Who
the
mentioned
Sixers.
them? Who mentioned them? Swing and a miss.
The
Hey, bro.
Nuggets have had to overcome more injuries than what the Sixers have.
Oh, we didn't make that point, but they discredited that point.
Yeah, they discredited it, bro.
They
You wanna know why
discredited that point.
it? You want to know why? You want to know why? because Jokic plays on the Nuggets. Now, if Embiid played on the Nuggets, look at all the
it'd
things
be a
that would come
whole
in.
different ball
Oh
game.
wow!
Hey, and Jokic is putting up career numbers. Embiid's not even, if you go by his averages, he's not even putting up career numbers this year.
And by the
Jokic
way,
is-
please, and let me just
Jokic-
reiterate what I'm
that he
saying.
had last
Real quick,
year when
hold
he
on.
won
Let me
MVP.
reiterate what I'm saying.
Jokic also let Zubac put 32 on his head. Come on, bro.
Do we have their
Come
PER
on, bruh.
stat?
You said what now?
I said,
He
do we
let
have their
Zubac
PER
put
stat?
32 on his head.
Yeah, and there have been multiple times where Joel Embiid has gotten put 30 plus put on his head.
15 to 19 from the field. That's all I'm saying.
No, and listen. Defensively, that was a bad defensive performance. 110%. 110%. I'm not
Let's
going to
not
defend
let
it.
the triple. Let's not let the triple double make it all of a sudden sound like Jokic is this transitional player that he's a generational type talent.
He
Yeah,
is from the
he
big
can
man
get triple doubles,
position.
but he has people on his team that knock down shots, bro.
Man, hey, you're
And
grasping for
Joel
straws,
Embiid has
though,
guys
Rob.
on his team that
Rob, you're grasping for straws, man, and I get it, man. You're going for some straws.
And,
Hey,
and yo,
I
Jay,
get it,
this
man.
is bordering.
Hey, it's my
this is
job to be the
bordering
Skip
on
Bayless
Russ's
to your
innocent-
Shannon Sharp.
This is bordering. This is bordering on Russ is innocent and Cooper Kupp is not a number one. This is up there with that. Like
Hey, Pride,
know, man.
I'm your
Best
Skip
wide
Bayless,
receiver.
Pride.
Nah, Rob, we ain't cool no more. Rob, we ain't cool no more.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah, let's
hey,
move
Rob,
on. We'll
hey,
be
Rob,
cool
hey,
on the
Rob,
next
hold on,
topic.
wait. Rob, when you got 10 cents, you come back and talk to me. Right now, you got
Yeah,
10.
Rob. Yeah,
You got 10 cents and come back and talk to me.
facts.
Matter of fact, when they call you 50 Cent, you come back and talk to me.
Well, I was gonna save this conversation for later, but we're gonna have to bring it up talking about the 76ers.
Let's bring it up.
Ben Simmons
Oh,
straight
wow.
up told the organization that if I don't get traded, I don't want to be here. I'm not gonna play for y'all. And it's funny because where is it? Right here. You guys weren't here. The 76ers passed up on this deal. They were gotten Harrison Barnes, Buddy Hield, 2 first rounders for Ben Simmons and Matisse Thybulle. Hold on, it gets worse. When the Sixers rejected this offer, the Kings counter said, "You know what? How about you take
Halliburton.
Tyler Burton, there it is. I want to say Tyler Hurton for some reason. So that's why I stutter because I'm like, it's not an H, but is it a B? I get back to you. But Tyler Burton, they took out Buddy Hield and put in Tyler Burton. So it would have been Tyler Burton, Barnes, and 2 first rounders for Simmons and Thybulle.
There's
My
just no
thing
way.
is, if you straight up ignore this trade, if you say no to this, I don't think there's a single trade on earth they're going to take for Ben Simmons. That's just me. Because I think this is one of the best they would have had. There's a whole bunch of rumors of like potential trades that have been presented to the Sixers, and the Sixers have been saying no, which I don't know. But here's the question I have, Jay McLovin. I'm going to start with you. Do you believe that Ben Simmons saying, if I'm not dealt by the trading deadline, I'm not going to play for y'all anymore? Do you think that's putting a little more pressure on the 76ers to the point where they're going to have to start kind of taking whatever they can get?
I don't think so. I think he's been out the whole season, like I was telling you earlier. He's been out almost the whole season. So, I think the pressure – what pressure is he really putting on him? Because like you said earlier, I don't think they're going to trade him regardless. And he can sit out all he wants. He's been sitting out. So if he's been sitting out, what pressure is he really trying to put on him? You know what I'm saying? No, I don't think so, Pride. I think they just – I just don't think they're going to make that trade. You had me at 2 first rounders. 2 first rounders for a guy who's basically all a mental case and who can't shoot.
Relax.
You had me at 2 first rounders.
Relax. Breathe. No Ben Simmons slander. You can slander Joel Embiid till you're blue in the face. That's fine. But let's just pump the brakes on poor Ben Simmons. But to your point, Jay, remember, he is not even playing for them. Like, he's kind of at this point just kind of taking up a spot, right? So that's kind of where I'm looking at it, like, just taking up a spot. Don't you think that they just want to move on from him solely because of that? Like Dustin, do you see where I'm coming from? Or because I remember we were talking about this a little earlier, and you kind of agreed with Jay, thinking this ain't really putting no pressure on the 76ers at all.
No, because they're winning games and they're only 2.5 games out of the top seed in the East. So it's not like not having Ben Simmons on the floor is hurting him. So if anything, it's putting more pressure on Simmons to play because the Sixers can basically just say, we're winning games without you, so what's the point of trading you at this point? You either sit and you don't get paid, or you get up and then you get paid. It's not going to affect us at all because we're winning. We're winning regardless without you.
Not to mention, I actually think what the 76ers are doing is giving a little added motivation to Embiid. Like, we want to hold on to Ben Simmons because we want Embiid to win in spite of him. Embiid, he's made it clear he doesn't like Ben Simmons. He feels he shouldn't have to babysit him. You know, as you mentioned earlier, prior to comments he made about him, what you call him, hot garbage. You know what I mean? So what the 76ers could be doing, and just hear me out on this theory here. Think about, we hold on to Ben Simmons and we kind of make it feel like we want this guy on the team no matter what. We're not giving him up unless we're getting a great value for him. And Embiid is looking like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go out here and score 50 to let you know we don't need Ben. Look at the added motivation that he's been playing with. Embiid just in the last 5 games. The man has been going nuts. And not to mention, as Dustin mentioned, they're winning. They're winning. They're what, 5th place in the Eastern Conference? You know, a very tough Eastern Conference, as we established how deep it is, that all 8 teams in the Eastern Conference are over 500, that everybody has winning records. Right now, Joel Embiid is playing at a different level in spite of Ben Simmons.
I'm just gonna put it to you like this. I think it's dumb for them to keep Ben Simmons. They don't want him. Joel Embiid doesn't want him. And this whole thing about winning in spite of him, Rob, I think you'll be winning in spite of him even if you trade him because he's not on the team anymore. You know what I mean? Like, the whole winning in spite of, as long as Ben Simmons is not on your team, you're winning in spite of him. At least that's how I would look at it. Chris, again, interesting points made on both sides. Let me kind of ask you a different variation of the question. With Ben Simmons kind of straight up telling him, look, I'm not going to play if you don't trade me. And obviously the 76ers just straight up rejecting any trade that they've been, brought forth to. Is there more pressure on the Sixers organization to get a deal done? Or is there more pressure on Ben Simmons to just get back on the court?
I think there's more pressure on the Sixers because if you keep, I know they're winning without Simmons now, but if you keep waiting, I don't think they're going to get a better trade offer than what they're getting now. So the longer you wait, I think you're going to end up getting a lot less than what you could get now. So I think that's going to affect them more because if Simmons gets on another team, plays well, he'll be able to resurrect his career if that happens. But they might not get anything for him if they wait.
Ron, you are a 76ers fan, which kind of explains all this love on Joel Embiid.
Yeah, definitely biased.
But bringing up Joel Embiid, though, do you think that maybe he's low-key telling the front office, look, I don't care what y'all do with him? Like, is it a possibility that the Sixers kind of are going to Joel Embiid and Joel is saying, look, I don't give a shit if you trade him or not? And with that attitude, do you think they potentially think, hold on, if he's not saying we got to trade him, maybe this bridge can be fixed? Like, do you think anything like that is going on at all?
No. I don't even feel like Embiid is talking to Morey at all. I feel like he's focused on the season and he's coming to work, putting on his bootstraps and representing Philly. And he trusts his organization. He got a great coach in Doc. He knows they're going to take care of it, and he's just coming out and balling. You can see he's focused.
Okay. Matter of fact, so let me ask you, who's more pressures on it for this whole thing to get resolved? Like Ben Simmons to get on the floor or the Sixers to actually trade him? Where do you think the pressure lies?
I recently found out that Ben Simmons is getting his paychecks due to his clause that he's mentally ill. So I would have said him, but he is getting paid still. So definitely the Sixers. because they're sitting there with the asset that can't be used. But I also feel like they're playing with cash money. This is they're dominating in the East. They're doing their thing, and they got this asset that who knows what can happen with it. At the end of the day, no matter what happens, they're going to be improving because he's not playing. So, and I hate to trade to Sacramento. Just to end it there.
Why?
Thibault.
Or are you just kind of like on a don't trade Ben Simmons?
No. Thibault. We're not giving up Thibault. I don't know why Sacramento asked to include him. I thought it was Simmons and Harris, and all of that would have been perfect. And nobody asked for Barnes. I don't know how he got thrown into the trade. I feel like it's just debate.
They threw him in to make the money
but
balance.
we were asking for the point guard. What's his name?
Oh, De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, it was supposed to be him. It's like, what happened here? How did Barnes come up to the party? No, but it's looking like this is the first step towards progress. I feel like this is the closest it's been, and we possibly may see something before the deadline. Why not?
It's gonna be very interesting, dog. I don't know. Like I said, I believe the pressure's on the Sixers because Ben Simmons doesn't care. You know, he doesn't care about Philly anymore. He doesn't care about the team, the organization. He kind of at this point is just like, I'll straight up retire as long as I don't have to play for y'all, which is wild. Like, let that sink in, bro. Like, he's starting to enter his prime and he's willing to retire because you don't want to play for a certain team. Like, that's a lot of pressure, not really on him, but on Philly. Because, like you said, Ron, they're still paying him. And if he retires, they still gotta pay him. So he's getting his money.
He's turning into the Antonio Brown of the NBA.
No.
Plain and simple.
No.
The player in his prime that doesn't want to play for a team is what I'm getting at.
No. Well,
Antonio Brown was in his prime, and Antonio Brown was in his prime in Pittsburgh, and then refused to play in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, when you boil it down like that, I'm with you because I was like, wait a minute.
Minus all the extra stuff that Antonio Brown does.
Right, yeah, that's what I was saying.
Like, Antonio Brown is in his prime with Pittsburgh and then refused to play with Pittsburgh until he got out. Ben Simmons is in his prime right now and is basically refusing to play for Philly unless they send him out.
Kind of like a Le'Veon Bell as well, Pittsburgh.
Actually, Le'Veon Bell was actually a better thing because Le'Veon Bell was gone for a year. Le'Veon Bell is actually a better comparison because he took a whole year off. Yeah. And then he got his big money contract with the New York Jets. And now we know how that worked out for a whole movie. So I'm pretty sure if he could go back in time, he would fix some stuff. But look, I think the pressure is on Philly. Because think about it this way, after the trade deadline, you're now stuck with him. The only move you can do, really, is cutting him. And they don't want to do that because they want to get something in return. And again, all these solid deals that they're getting, like these trade proposals, they're not horrible. They're not trying to fleece the 76ers. There's some pretty good trade proposals. But the Sixers are saying, nah, we don't want it. And I'm telling y'all, once you start getting closer to the trade deadline, if they even trade him, they're gonna look dumb because the closer you get to the trade deadline, to Dustin's point, this is the best. Or I don't know if you said it, Dustin, or if Chris said it. One of you guys said it, but this is the best you're gonna get for him. The closer you get to, for all we know, they're probably gonna end up getting a trade. It's going to be Ben Simmons straight up for, like, I don't know, John Wall, which makes no sense whatsoever for either team, but they want to, you know what I mean? Both guys want to move on, or even worse, a couple picks and, Cameron Payne. Like, you know what I mean? Like, once you start getting closer to that trade deadline, you're not going to get what you want. So it's like, and by the way, I would have made this trade yesterday. 110%. And by the way, Ron, the trade he's referring to, is this one. This is the trade he's referring to. Buddy Hield, which honestly, I would have.
Yeah.
And if you don't want Buddy Hield, and if you don't want Buddy Hield and you drop him for Halliburton, honestly, I think this is one of, if not the best trade packages you're going to get for Ben Simmons.
Here's a question that I have for Ron then. Would you rather have Ben Simmons stay in an organization where he doesn't want to play and be a part of? Or would you rather have a guy in Halliburton that would actually give you 110% when he steps on the floor and would actually be happy to be in Philadelphia?
Yeah, because I was going to say, Dustin, in the group chat, you said something about Halliburton. He was
Halliburton grew up an Allen Iverson fan. So for him to go to Philadelphia where he grew up watching Allen Iverson, wouldn't you want him to show up there because he grew up an Allen Iverson fan? He knows what it's like to give 110% to that organization. Would you rather have someone giving you 110% and actually want to be there? Or would you rather have somebody basically half-assing it and refusing to play because he's not happy?
And I love Ben Simmons, but he's not even half-assing it. He's no-assing it because he's not even there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he
That's true, though.
You know? So, Anthony Price says, does Ben have something on the 76ers? The man don't want to be there. He don't care about the fines. Just trade him. Look, I don't know. And I think the 76ers are really holding out because they wholeheartedly believe, for some unknown reason, I think they think that they can get a guy like a Damian Lillard. I really think they believe they'll somehow be able to fleece that type of player. I think because, and Ron, obviously you being the fan, you would probably have a better insight of this. Am I out of pocket for thinking that? Because let's be fair here. They've had a fair share of solid deals they could have taken. They're not taking it. So it's almost as if they're just waiting because they think they can go get a big fish.
Right. I agree with you for the most part. A lot of thoughts. Going back to the original point, who's under pressure? I'm just like, what if no one's under pressure? Because Ben's fine. He's getting his checks. And the Sixers know right now they can make a trade with Sacramento. They can make a trade with Portland. They can make a trade with Houston, Indiana, and a couple more teams. Like we all can agree they can go make a trade happen today if they wanted to.
Oh, yes, 100%.
So you can't really say that's pressure. They all bring those trades back to the organization, and everybody's just in agreement. We don't really like this.
But the reason why I'm saying there's pressure is because think about it now. This same deal in 3 weeks, it'll be gone. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the only reason why I'm saying it. Like the longer
the Sixers should counter offer. The only thing I don't like about this deal is that we're giving up Thibault. We cannot give up somebody with his potential. He's on the same level.
Even for Halliburton, though?
Yeah, I like Thibault better than Halliburton. I think he's the best player in this trade outside of Ben Simmons. He led the Australian team. He's somebody that is going to be able to lead a roster one day. He has defensive player of the year potential, and he's not that bad on offense, and his jump shot is nice. That's Halliburton, great perimeter D guy, and going to be able to get you 16, 20 points.
Rob.
Sorry, y'all. I'm at work. Sorry about that.
No, you good.
If we're giving up Ben Simmons, we're giving you Ben Simmons that's going to change your entire organization. He's going to get the Sacramento Kings to some relevance out west.
Probably.
We want Thibault and Halliburton. That's all we got to work with the trade.
Rob, are you a Sixers fan?
I'm an Embiid fan, but I
you an
follow
Embiid fan?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're an Embiid fan by you're a 76ers fan by association.
Correct.
Got you. Okay. Because
Do you think it was maybe the number of picks? But what if they would have got 3 picks? You know, because I know Morey when Morey was with Houston, you know, he let Hart go for 3 picks and John Wall. So I wonder if maybe it was the number of first round picks that was holding him up.
By the way, we're gonna wait for you to put all 3 points, and then we're actually gonna address it. So once you put up that third one, we'll put it up, and then we'll all address it. But Rob. So let me ask you a question because Ron said something interesting. What's up, guys? Had to check it out, but curious, why is Ben Simmons?
I'm all right. How
Why
you
is
doing?
Ben Simmons getting this much energy? Well, we're not really giving Ben Simmons the energy. It's more along the lines of like the Sixers organization, like all of them. That's just me. But I guess Ben Simmons is. No one likes Ben no more, man. Like
that's
no one rocks with Ben, right? Ben, I still rock with you. You still my dude, Ron. You still rock with Ben, right?
You say Ron or Rob?
Ron, you rock with
Oh
Ben.
yeah,
still,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
See, all right. So Ben Simmons, you got two dudes who still rock with you. It's free Ben Simmons till the day we die. You good, my guy.
Only
Matter of
two.
fact, do whatever it is you got to do, my
Yeah,
dude.
y'all really are the only two.
Yeah, Rob, shut up. All right, so here's his 3 points. So first and foremost, if you wanted Ben Simmons out of town, you would have done this yesterday without hesitation and got it done. Point 2, think about what you're getting. Halliburton was a pick ahead of Maxey. Harrison Barnes is just an asset that has championship vibes. And third, you're getting 2 first-round picks. I would push for 3 because then you can recover from Ben and draft shooters. Analytics shouldn't be the decider of why you wouldn't make this trade, which, Ron, those are some solid points. The only one I disagree is with
no, it's not. If I say Harrison Barnes, do you guys think championship vibes?
Yes.
Well, he is a former champion, but no.
Yeah. No. But now again, let's break down his comment, Ron. Harrison Barnes is just an asset, though. So it's not like he's making it seem like he's the end-all, be-all. But Harrison Barnes in that locker room could be a solid leader. He could still play ball, so it's not like he's a scrub. He's a solid dude that could give you production. Again, not the end-all, be-all, but you do need a guy like him on every roster. Let's be fair here. Every championship contender, you do need a guy like Harrison Barnes. So
Did they have one at Tobias Harris?
Thank you.
Well, you could put
Tobias Harris. So why
well,
you
they
need
want to
Harrison
trade
Barnes?
Tobias anyway, though. But they want to trade Tobias anyway.
Okay, but I don't feel like Harrison Barnes is an equal trade to Tobias.
No, hold on. Whoa. But I'm not saying we trade the Tobias there. Hold on now. I'm not saying to trade Tobias for Harrison Barnes. Whatever you want to do with Tobias, do whatever y'all want with him. That's fine.
Leave J. Cole alone, okay?
Harrison Barnes is the bizarro version of Tobias Harris.
You do not like anyone that's not a 76er, Ron. You do not like it. If they're outside of the 76ers organization, they're horrible, Ron. What's going on?
Except LeBron.
But I mean, look, again, for each of the points that they made, that the Snake Sports Talk Show made, there's some validity to them, and especially look, this last one, you're getting 2 firsts. Now, if you want to push for 3, fine, but let's be fair here. You're still getting 2 first-round picks.
Does those 2 firsts from Sacramento make anybody here excited?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way.
If you're the 76ers, yeah, because it's gonna be it could
Lottery
pretty much be a better pick than what you got. You know what I mean? It could be something better. Let's be fair here. Sacramento, they not smart, so you could get a top 10, top 13 pick out of it, which I wouldn't be mad about. You know, because then you can get that, and then you can go get some. You can go draft some other guys, or hell, maybe if you're feeling it, you could flip those picks for players. You know, that's the possibility. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the picks are
so
exciting, but everybody else.
If Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris goes to Sacramento and they ball out, like I'm talking, do y'all think they'd be better than the Timberwolves?
Sacramento?
Yeah. Ben Simmons
wasn't Buddy Hield a part of that trade too?
Well, it was Buddy Hield originally, but then when the Sixers said no, they took away Buddy Hield and put Halliburton in. And then they still said no, which kind of was weird. But I'll be honest here. This is just me, the Sacramento Kings, they might be able to even be like an 8th or 7th seed.
That's why I said that.
Yeah. What do you, so what's the argument though?
They're going
I'm talking about with
good.
Ben Simmons. I'm talking about with
It's
Ben
not
Simmons.
that it's not likely that those picks are going to be that great. I mean, yeah, we're getting 2 first-round
But
picks,
they're better. Hold on, but they're better than what you guys would have. You know what I mean?
Right. It's not
So
a bad
that's what
thing.
I'm saying. Like, I think it'll be pretty good. You'll still be in the range where you can get yourself a solid player. And like I said, if you don't want those picks, they're still very valuable, and you could flip them.
Sacramento's winning the trade.
I mean, sure.
Because Halliburton is a guard, right?
Sacramento
Don't get me
would win
wrong.
Yes, Halliburton's a guard. Yes.
So
he's
you
a
already
guard.
have who? You got Maxey, you got Seth, you got Danny. Do you really need another guard on the 76ers?
But Halliburton can play anything 1 through 4 though because of his length.
Right. He's going to be nice with Embiid.
Yeah,
But
Halliburton's
that's why
got
I want
extremely
Tyler,
long
too.
arms.
But he doesn't have the strength. At least for the 4, anyway. At least for the 4.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like in terms of like matching up with who he would be like the Sixers version of Patrick Williams, a guy that can pretty much guard anybody 1 through 4.
So okay. So you could push him at the 4 when they do like small ball lineups and stuff. When you got Embiid out there. Oh,
Because
okay.
he's got the length. He's got the length where he can compete because he's got a longer wingspan than guys that have a 6'9" height. He's just got really long arms and he's a matchup nightmare.
And Ron, to address your point, how you're saying this, the Sacramento Kings are winning the trade. Let's just get this out the way. The Kings are forget the King. Any team who gets Ben Simmons for the most part is gonna win the trade. Let's just be honest, because in most trades, Ben Simmons is gonna be the best player, right? He's gonna be the
trade
best
to
player
Portland for Dame.
Well, yeah, I mean, outside of a trade for Dame, which I don't think will happen at all. I don't think so. But outside of a trade for like Damian Lillard, something along those lines, then sure. But the most likely trade they'll get, the 76ers are going to, quote, lose because you're getting rid of Ben Simmons. But let's be fair here. Is that really a loss, though? Because let's be honest here, Ben Simmons ain't playing for y'all anyway. So if you guys go get somebody else, that should be considered a W because, hey, y'all got somebody on the court who wants to play for y'all.
Not necessarily, because if you look at it from the money aspect, they're not paying Ben right now. So they're really not taking a loss.
No, they are.
They're paying him now? Because at first they weren't.
Ron, what was it? Mental health that he said? It was like mental illness, something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, he pulled the mental health card?
Yeah, he I love Ben. I love Ben and all. I don't know if it really is mental health. I hope it.
I mean, well, we can't question that. I mean, anytime you don't want to shoot, anytime you don't want to dunk on Trae Young, there is something mental going on there.
I don't know, man. I because it's tough. I want to say I hope he does, because I don't want to, I don't want him to be lying. But then that's also messed up to say. And I also hope he does it. But then again, if you're lying, you now look dumb for lying about something like that. It's weird, man.
And then it also could come down to Rich Paul. You think Rich Paul is hurting how the 76ers are perceiving Ben Simmons?
No. Because you got to remember, 76 have been doing him dirty since before he went to Rich Paul. You know what I mean? They kind of were blaming him for everything. So then Ben was like, all right, bet. I don't want to do the talking no more. He called up Rich Paul. Rich Paul was like, all right, bet. I'll get my hands dirty for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ben Simmons is definitely not a loss, and you're already shipping the team to be a winning franchise. I mean, sure. Sure. I don't know, man. I mean,
and I don't put any blame on Embiid. I mean, players are going to talk stuff to each other. I was more so disappointed in Doc as the head coach. You got to keep those feelings to yourself. 100%. As a leader, as the general of the team, you cannot put blame on the player, especially when you're a coach who what is it now? 3 times he's lost a 3-1 lead. So
I think right? No, 4.
Right.
Justin, fact check me. I didn't he do that once in Boston?
Yeah.
Right.
And he did it with Orlando. He did it with Orlando.
He did one in
Boston and with the Clippers.
And the Clippers, that was 3.
He did it twice with the Clippers, not with Boston.
No, he didn't do it twice to the Clippers.
He did it with Boston once.
Oh, wait, hold on. Are we talking about blowing a 3-1 lead?
Yeah.
Yes, he did
He
it
didn't do it twice.
multiple times.
Yeah, no, he did it 3 times, but he didn't do it twice to the Clippers, did he?
Oh,
You know what? He probably did.
once with
I
the
don't even
Clippers.
think it matters. He just needs to be quiet and lucky that
Yeah,
he's still there.
he shouldn't have said what he said because I
He
believe
botched it last year.
Yeah, you can mend the fences with Embiid or Ben Simmons, or at least have enough respect there to keep playing with each other. But when your head coach calls you out, yeah, I don't want to go back to that team either. I can't really blame Ben Simmons for that. How
Yeah,
he's going about
They
it.
tried to make Ben Simmons a scapegoat. He gets so much blame for what
Thank
happened
you, Ron.
last year.
Yep,
Finally,
exactly.
Rob, you and I can agree on something. Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Free Ben Simmons, bro, on some real, bro.
And it's
Because
really a depressing topic because all the Sixers is missing is Ben Simmons.
listen, and I said this before. If they never say nothing, the 76ers right now are, if they're not the number 1 seed, they're in their legitimate contention for it. And there's probably a half a game separating them, Chicago, and Brooklyn. 100%.
Right.
And they would have been, matter of fact, you can even make argument they'd be the de facto number 1. You can even make that argument. So it's like,
So disappointing.
It really is, man. And honestly, and listen, I love Doc Rivers.
I hope he gets let go after this year.
He probably is. I love Doc Rivers, but this is the part that blows my mind, right? This is the part that truly blows my mind. When things was getting shaky, and Ron, you can attest to this, he turned his back, crossed his arm, and crossed his legs and was like, you guys figure it out. He did the same thing he did when he was with the Clippers, when they blew the 3-1 lead. And he did the same exact thing when he was on the Celtics. Anytime in the regular season, preseason, postseason, no season, those seasons, doesn't matter. If he was the head coach and things was going left, he would turn right. And he would see nothing but his back, and he would say, y'all figure it out. And then magically, when the players dug themselves out, that's when Doc Rivers was like, let's go. We got this, boys. We got this, boys. And he did the same thing. So for him to come out and say, yeah, it's Ben Simmons' fault, I don't know, man. You're missing me here. You're missing me. You're missing me.
Shut up, Doc.
Nah, bro. I ain't with it.
Is it?
Bro.
Can we make the argument that Doc was overhyped because of what Boston did?
Yeah. I think it's time to actually say that now.
I think yes and no, because he took a fairly bad Orlando team to the playoffs too, though. I mean, Orlando had Tracy McGrady, but outside of that, they didn't really have anybody else. They had an aging Hedo Turkoglu. I mean, they didn't really have many options in Orlando.
But at that time, the Eastern Conference was still the Eastern Conference.
And not only that, you also got to think about how they lost. When it was a 3, listen, bro, it was a 3-1 lead. He had Tracy McGrady saying it's gonna be good to get to the second round. You had T-Mac saying this on a presser, bro. It was a post-game press conference. And they turned it back. Literally. And Matt and Dustin, that is the only reason why now, and again, I was a huge Doc Rivers supporter, but this is why now I kind of got to fall back on him a little bit. And it's just because when things get hard, you turn your back and you basically start acting like a spoiled brat. Then when the players dig themselves out of it, that's when you want to come back. That's when you want to start talking again. And it's like, I don't know, man. Like it's difficult for me to be able to look at you as legitimate coach when you can straight up and say, Big Game Sports Buzz was like, don't forget T-Mac is a Hall of Famer that said that. Dog, he had T-Mac saying, it feels so good to get to the second round. Now tell me how the rest of the series went.
I mean, I guess the only thing that I can say about that is Tracy McGrady averaged 28.9 points per game during that playoff series. Drew Gooden was the second leading scorer in that series at 11.3 points, and Darrell Armstrong averaged 9.4. So, yes, they blew the 3-1 lead, but outside of Tracy McGrady, they were getting no production from anybody.
Man, that's true. By the way, Anthony Price says Doc knows he's out here. He's using Ben as a scapegoat. I think, and Ron, maybe you too, Rob, because again, you're a 76ers fan by association. Yeah, I know Ron said that he wants Doc out of here, Rob, are you with him? Do you think Doc Rivers needs to be out of here after this season?
Yeah, Doc has to go just for the statement he said about Ben Simmons. Because remember, this is not the first time Doc has done that. Remember, him and Paul George got into it on the Clippers.
Yeah.
They were throwing shade at each other. So Doc has been on record going at his players when he doesn't win. And I was right. It was once with the Magic and twice with the Clippers. It was with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin. And then
God, I forgot about that. No,
against
stop.
Houston.
No,
Against
Rob,
Houston.
Rob, stop. We're not talking about Chris Paul. Stop it. Come on, relax. Put the brakes. From now
And
on,
then
this is how the
also
world
against
goes.
Denver. And that was just, I mean, the Denver
He's
one
a
was
mess.
just inexcusable. You had Kawhi and Paul George, dude. Like
Yeah,
that
was
was
brutal.
We might
And
have
honestly-
to take that championship away from Doc that he got with Boston. We're gonna have to
Hold
start
on,
looking
let
at
me
it
ask you this.
sideways.
it was probably the
If we
only
take
time
it
that
away
a
from
team
him-
can legitimately say we don't need a coach.
Exactly. Garnett,
Hold
Paul
on.
Pierce,
If we take, hold on,
Rajon Rondo, they was
real
stacked.
quick, Ron, let me just clarify. So you say you're taking the ring away from Doc. Are you taking it away from the Boston Celtics, or can we keep
No,
the ring
no,
and
no,
just,
no, no,
and
no,
just
no.
sacrifice Doc Rivers?
Just on Doc's resume. You can no
Alright,
longer put that on your resume, Doc.
I'm with
Nah,
you.
Boston
with you.
deserved that. The Boston.
All right, cool. I'm with it then. I'm with it. So can we take a finals loss off our record and blame that on Doc Rivers? Can we blame the Lakers rematch? Can we blame that on Doc Rivers and just take that one off our record?
Nah.
I'm just seeing how far I can go. I'm just seeing how
Nah,
far I can go.
you still have to blame
potential
Kobe. May
three-peat.
God rest his soul.
No,
That
no,
would have
straight
been
up, every time
Kobe's
someone
second
asks,
3P, man. That's always
Yo-
gonna hurt.
yeah, every time they ask me, they go, "Oh, whose fault is it?" I always say that it was Kobe's fault. Like, what do you mean? I was like, it was Kobe's fault. They're like, what do you mean by that? I was like, it was Kobe's fault. Like, that's just every time I say that, they were like, "Oh my god, why are you so mean to him?" And I'm like, you would understand, bro. Like, I was like, it's Kobe's fault.
Yeah,
Pride.
Doc-
We brought
Doc-
Doc Rivers over for his championship pedigree, matched that with a championship roster, and this man loses to the Atlanta Hawks. Explain that. He crashed the Lamborghini.
That was nuts.
Man, but
He
again,
crashed
saw
the
this
Lamborghini.
coming.
it's and ready to hear the funny part. Ready to hear the funny part. After heading into Game 6, I low-key saw the writing on the wall because there was multiple points that Doc Rivers was just being a diva, and I'm like, look, man, in the regular season you can get away with that. Playoffs, you can't be pouting and going grr and getting mad. You call a timeout, and all the players are huddled around the assistant coach. The assistant coaches are the ones drawing up the plays, and Doc Rivers out here mad, like he's a suburban mom drinking a mimosa that's like days away from a divorce. Like he's just like, this is Doc Rivers.
Is anybody surprised that happened last year though?
You said what?
Is anybody surprised
Very.
that Atlanta beat? Is anybody surprised that Atlanta beat Philadelphia last year? And I'm taking Doc Rivers out of the equation on this first.
I was very
Very.
shocked.
Look at the Hawks.
I was
They're
very
12th
shocked.
in the
No, but
East.
we see it.
Nah,
We see it every year in the postseason. If one player gets hot or one team gets hot, they always make a deep run. Denver did it a few years ago as a 6th seed to get to the Western Conference Finals. The Memphis Grizzlies did it before as a 6th seed to get to the Western Conference Finals. It happens every year where you have one team in the playoffs that has one player that gets hot, and all of a sudden, if that player gets hot, the team starts playing well and goes down a deep playoff run. The Warriors did it with Mark Jackson in his final year with Monte Ellis.
Yeah, but
Nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming.
And but here's the thing. Here's the thing. What you're saying with the Warriors and the Nuggets, and what other team did you mention? Fuck me.
The Grizzlies
Those
got
are
to the
good
Western Conference Finals as a 6th seed. The Nuggets
Grizzlies,
did.
yes. But the reason you're saying that is, well, actually, I gotta take the Nuggets. No, I'll leave the Nuggets in. It was what they did. It was them playing. This was a situation, and when I say this, I'm referring to Atlanta and the 76ers. They lost, and I'm gonna say this right now. I think the person who should get the most blame is Doc Rivers, because there were multiple times where things was getting shaky. Doc could have called the timeout, rallied the troops, and say, yo, we need to relax, pump the brakes. Here's what we're going to do. Drop a quick play and then shift the momentum. I get what you're saying, Dustin. Usually there is that team, and you're right. There always is that one oddball team that just, hits the ground running. In this series, I don't think that had anything to do with it. They could have played the Orlando Magic And I think the Sixers would have lost because Doc Rivers just kind of gave up.
Yeah, to me, Doc Rivers, he's let his emotions take over here in these playoffs.
Yes.
That's why I don't think he should be a head coach of an NBA team. Going gets tough. He lets his emotions take the better of him.
Yep, and here's the thing: he's got the mind for it. He does. Like he's intelligent. He's so smart, and he knows the game. He's like part of Dustin, right? Where like Dustin is smart, but then Dustin also has that other part of him that's just calm, cool, and collected, right? Doc needs that. He needs that because he literally plays. He plays or he reacts to things like a child. You know what I mean? Like when
That's
things
the perfect
go
way to
left,
put it.
You said what?
That's the perfect way to put it.
Like, come on,
No,
bro.
it's your fault. It's your fault. It's not my fault.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Things get tough. He starts looking for somebody to blame.
Exactly. And it's like, Doc, you got to sit there and say, you know what? Yeah, we all played horrible top to bottom. I get it. But I didn't do them any favors. I should have. There's multiple times I should have called the timeout, rally the troops. There have been a couple plays I drew up, and I'm out here telling them to get to different defensive sets. I messed up. Like he just doesn't really like to do that. It's almost as if like Doc Rivers he'll reach so bad. He'll be like, by the way, Rob Scott from Rob's 2 Cents. Yeah, it's his fault. And it's like, wait a minute, timeout. You're playing 11 o'clock game. Rob is asleep because he's got work in the morning. What are you doing? Like that, let's be fair. That's what Doc Rivers be doing, Rob.
I mean, look, we probably should have saw the writing on the wall when the team was getting into him. Remember about his son? Remember he was showing the favoritism to Austin
and the Clippers.
And the Clippers, I think Doc Rivers is slowly every team he goes to coach on. It's like he slowly begins to lose their respect.
You know what I think it is? Not only that, I believe that the longer he's been in the league, the worse he's getting.
Because he's not making
now, old man.
Yeah, exactly. Because you hit it right in the head. Because he's not making a judge. Like, why do you think Greg Popovich has been so successful? Like, he's been able to make some adjustments. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, obviously, you got 4 Hall of Famers that help, sure. But let's be fair here. Like,
but even DeMar DeRozan credits Pop for making him a complete player. Because it's all about the fundamentals.
Exactly.
I think Doc Rivers goes sometime by the names he has on the team. And he kind of Steve Nash is sometimes. He's like, I don't need to coach them. They can coach themselves. You still have to remember you are the general of this team. And when you see something is not right, you can't rely on Kawhi to call a timeout. You can't rely on Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid to call a time. You have to get the troops together. And get everybody back focused on the game. He
still acts like a player.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I say that one more time, Chris. Hold on, Chris. Say that one more time.
He still acts like a player.
Oh my God. And right here, the funny part, people forget he used to play.
When I look at this, when I look at the Sixers roster that he has right now, it reminds me a lot of his Orlando Magic roster. It's a lot more talented, but you had Dwight Howard back when he was with Orlando. You have Joel Embiid now, and you have a bunch of players that were never stars in Orlando. They just gelled really together. Yes, Philadelphia's got Ben Simmons, but there really isn't that many stars yet on that roster. Obviously, Maxey and Thibault can become stars, but they're not to that point
Harris
yet.
Isn't a star?
He's been a star with Philadelphia, but before he got to Philadelphia, he wasn't. Okay. The system in Philadelphia makes him the star just because of the system he's in. But he still coaches the Sixers like he's coaching the Magic in the 2000s. And that's not how the game is played in the NBA anymore. He's got to adjust to how the game
pass him by a little bit.
Instead of coaching it like he was back in the early 2000s. And that's what his biggest flaw is with this team is he's coaching it like the early 2000s when the game was played at a much slower pace.
These young boys want to run up and down, man.
Bro, yeah, 100%. Rob, they do. And I don't know, man. I think Doc Rivers, I think he needs to kind of bow out peacefully, bro. Just bow out, say, I'm not that guy. Let me retire. Let me just, go home.
He'd be a better assistant coach than the head coach.
I don't think so.
What he needs to do is what every other coach does after they get fired or quit. They need to take a year off instead of hopping from job to job.
Yes.
Take a year off, clear your head, and learn what you did wrong, and then come back and do it.
And that's what I'm saying. Watch the game because, again, not to say that he's dumb, but he just doesn't make those adjustments. And when you don't make adjustments, there's one or two things. You're either stupid or you just don't understand how the game is played. And I don't think Doc Rivers understands, like, fully the transition. You know what I mean? Because, again, even from 5 years ago, this is still a relatively different game. It's still kind of different from even 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Back when he was on the Clippers with Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, it was Lob City. Even then, you know, this game is a little more different. So he gotta figure out he gotta figure it out, man. He has to, because this is getting ridiculous. Because now it's getting to the point where, like, everywhere he goes, they lose, and Doc Rivers points out, oh yeah, Chris Paul's not that guy. DeAndre Jordan can hit free throws. Blake Griffin can only dunk.
Paul George is not that guy. I mean, Doc Rivers is the true definition of a toxic relationship.
100%, because he says that. He says that, and then Rob, what does he do afterwards? Man, I didn't really mean it. I love you. Come back. Your stuff is still here. I'll buy you something. Like, let's go to dinner. Like,
you remember that old school song? Oh, it ain't my fault.
I hate you, Rob. No, you know what? From now on, when the 76ers, you know how they play the music to, like, introduce them? They need that. 100%. 100%, yo. Because Doc Rivers is toxic, man. He's toxic. And it's like, you know what I mean? Listen, sometimes you don't realize you're in a toxic relationship until you go outside and you breathe normal air. And all of a sudden, the stench is gone, the weight is lifted, and you feel energized. And then you go back into the stadium, and all of a sudden, you open the door, you take a step in, and you're just sad. You're angry.
And pride. To make your point hit home, look how the Clippers are now with Tyronn Lue.
Hello?
They didn't have Paul George or Kawhi. And look at the elevation of Reggie Jackson. Look at what the Clippers have done without their star players, and that's a credit to coaching.
Yeah, developmental. This is a better developmental coach.
Who did LeBron James said he needed to win? He said, "No, get him out of here. Bring in Coach Lue."
It is crazy because I didn't think Tyronn Lue was that good of a coach, and, like, you know. I apologize.
You know what I'm starting to notice? The better the player, the worse the
worse the coach.
Yeah.
Chauncey Billups don't have no idea what he's doing. Meanwhile, Ty Lue out here looking like Phil Jackson. Like, and what the hell?
That's because players expect you to know what they know. When bad players understand, you know, you need a sense of direction. The great players kind of think like, what you should have known. Look how Magic Johnson was as a coach. Look at Isaiah Thomas as a coach. They think you should know what they know, and that's just not the case.
No, yeah, because again, and it's like how MJ says. He said he could like when he was trying to teach the younger guy, he couldn't do it, and he straight up said it's because this game just comes effortless to me. We're doing the same thing. Yeah. How are you not catching on as fast?
What Rob just said is accurate too, because if you look at across like NBA, NFL, MLB landscape, how many coaches that are there now that were former players were actually good former players? Yes, there's a couple like Chauncey Billups, Jason Kidd, and a couple of them were good, but for the most part, all the head coaches that were NBA players in the past were not that good of NBA players. They just learned from being behind good NBA players what to do, and now they can pass that on.
Of coaching, I think the only two who have been good players and actually are good coaches, there's only two I can think of. John Madden and Mike Vrabel.
Mm-hmm. And Mike
to me, those are really the only. And Peyton Manning, he will ever be a head coach, and he said it, bro. I can't do it. He straight up said, I can't do it. Like these kids.
I guess you could say Jim Harbaugh too, because Jim Harbaugh wasn't that bad of an NFL player, and he's proven to be a good coach both in NFL and college.
And Coach Mike Ditka.
Yeah, Mike Ditka. Yup. Which I think he's an outlier because he was a great football player who ended up being a great head coach. So I think, you know what I mean? Like he's up there, but
you have your gyms, of course. But if you look
Have
on
you
the
had any of
entire
them-
landscape,
Have you had
You
any of
know-
them coaches in the NBA that have been good players and were good NBA?
In the
coaches?
I mean, you
NBA?
could say Jason Kidd now, but Jason Kidd had to take his licks from
Yeah,
Milwaukee.
yep.
That Milwaukee job, God.
Woo! Hey, listen,
Steve
and you want to
Kerr
know
was
what the
decent.
highlight of the Milwaukee one is? No, it's not Milwaukee. I think it was Brooklyn. When he had his own, when he had no timeouts,
when he
he had
had-
his own, but he was like, hey, yo, bump into me. Oh, water. Oh, all right. Quick, cuddle over here. Come on, here's the play. Like, yo, I will never in my life ever let go on how he finessed a free timeout. I would never, he got in trouble for it later, though. He got in trouble, but that was hilarious, dog. But now, Justin, you're like the cracked out stat guy. Can you see if there's any good NBA player that has transitioned to be a good NBA coach?
Like right now or in general?
Just in general.
And we're talking about head coaches, right?
Yeah, head coaches.
Right, because
Yep.
I'm about to say Patrick Ewing was a great assistant.
He was a great assistant. I don't know if he's a great coach.
I haven't really paid
went-
attention to what's going on in Georgetown, but
I was about to say, Georgetown.
Larry Bird wasn't too bad of a coach.
He wasn't good either.
he
Steve
wasn't.
Kerr's not that. Steve Kerr's not that bad.
But Steve Kerr wasn't a great player.
Nah.
He was.
He was great at
his
his role.
Yeah.
And can we be honest here? I don't think Steve Kerr's that good of a coach.
No,
I can't say that because
I can. You want to know why? You want to know
the fact that Golden State made it to the play-in last season, the fact that they made it to the play-in. I mean, look at what they were a year before. People have to remember Steph was injured, Clay's injured, Draymond in and out of the lineup. What he did with that team, he took his licking. He said we went from being the best to the worst, but
this is the same Steve Kerr who, when he was with Golden State, he had to step down, and Luke Walton all of a sudden looked phenomenal, and that got him that Lakers job.
So I just found
look what happened.
Hold on.
I just found a list of 25 Hall of Fame players that have now become NBA head coaches.
Ooh, okay, perfect.
And just listen to the record of some of these people. Magic Johnson, 5-11 limited sample size. Bob Lanier, 12-25. Willis Reed, 82-124. Elgin Baylor, 86-135. Bob Cousy, 141-207. Jerry West, 145-101. Larry Bird, 147-107. Jason Kidd, 183-190. Isaiah Thomas, 187-223. Wes Unseld, 202-345. Kevin McHale, 232-215. Maurice Cheeks, 305-315. Bill Russell, 341-290. The only one that actually had success was Lenny Wilkins, who was 13-32-1155.
God damn.
And that was Rob's 2 cents, folks.
Yeah, shut up. But again, and by the way, real quick, this is why I always go to Dustin for like facts, because this kid knows how to find this stuff. That like I will spend 45 minutes Googling something. Within 45 seconds, he'll find it, cite it, write a thesis, then write a hypothesis in MLS format or MLA format, right? And then he'll have it submitted and already graded. Meanwhile, I'm still looking for it, bro.
Everybody,
Hey, that's what they call him Siri. There's a reason why we call him Siri.
Everybody needs a Dustin in their life.
100%. 100%. Because I always say, when people ask me questions, I say, look, I don't know, but I'll find someone who knows. And then I don't even
you call him Dustin real quick.
I just go to Dustin. Like before, I used to go, hey Siri, and I would ask Siri the question. At this point, I go, hey Siri, send a message to Dustin, and then I just go from there. Like I don't like I just use Siri to go to my original Siri. You know what I mean? But I mean, yeah, look, it's difficult for a great player to be a good head coach, and it's just because I'm great. This came to me easy, so it should come to you guys easy. And that's what a lot of the all-time greats really say. Which I think part
of it too is when you're a great player, you got great by doing it your way. What worked for you is not necessarily going to work for the team you're coaching. Like I'll use LeBron James as an instant right now. LeBron James is one of the top 5 greatest players of all time. Yes, he's had to work to get that way, but he's also one of the most athletically gifted players that ever stepped foot in the NBA. Just because he had this much success as a player doesn't mean he can go to the Cleveland Cavaliers and coach and have success. He might not have a player as athletically gifted as him on that team. He might not have shooters that shot like him. He might not have 5 players might not equal the 1 player he had. So just because he had success doesn't mean it's going to translate unless you know how to actually coach up players to make them better.
Right. And that's a perfect point. And it's true. Again, it's true. You know what I mean? Again, Michael Jordan refuses to be a head coach. And it's
that's, I think, the reason why.
Yeah, and that's really the only reason. He just says it. Look, man, this stuff was easy for me. I do it this way. If I like Michael Jordan's the type of dude that if you do free throws and you shoot under 50%, he'll punch you. But that's a no-no. That's a no-no nowadays. You feel me? Like that's a no-no. You can't do that, right? And that is just he does it one way. It says it worked for him. He just assumes it'll work for everybody. But you know, I'm just saying, bro. You know, go punch James Johnson. Let me know how that worked out. A legit real dude. Not no freaking. Nah, I ain't saying no names because that'd be very, very immature. But you know, don't be Marcus. Don't be Marcus Morris, who you know said, "Oh, good job."
And what you said about Mike Vrabel in the NFL, also, he's not even a Hall of Famer. I don't believe.
No. I think he's a good. He was a good player. I think he was a good player.
No, he's a good player. But I'm saying how many Hall of Fame NFL players have become good coaches?
I think Mike Ditka might be the only one.
Yeah,
and John Madden.
John Madden and Mike Dick are probably the only 2 Hall of Fame players that turned out to be good head coaches. And you can same thing with the NBA. You can be a Hall of Fame player and not a Hall of Fame coach. And then if you have like guys like Mike Vrabel, he was a great player, didn't get into the Hall of Fame, but he's a good coach just because he still made mistakes as a player and learned from that and can kind of teach others what mistakes he made.
Yeah, definitely, 110%. By the way, Anthony Price, or Dustin, one question for you. You think Jim Harbaugh is thinking about going to the NFL just to get Michigan and get him a new big contract?
It's pretty much a done deal. If the Raiders give him a deal, he'll take it.
I mean, it's kind of hard to not want to go back to the NFL. Like
the Raiders gave Gruden $10 million. They'll give Harbaugh 12.
I mean, he's not
to get him there. They'll give him $12 million to go to Vegas and be the coach.
And he's not wrong because and I think you told me, Justin. I think Dustin, you were the one who told me that if Jim Harbaugh says I'll go to Oakland, if he even says there's a possibility, the Raiders would not interview anybody. They would stop all interviews.
Well, they have to interview, I think, 5 people because of that Rooney rule. They have to interview, I think, 5 people. But they can interview and just basically be like, we're only interviewing them because we have to.
As a formality.
And then they'll just be like, here you go. Here's your offer, Harbaugh. Come over here.
Holy shit. And it's crazy because they only really interview 4 because the last one will be Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
And it'll just be them throwing them.
Technically, they're going to interview 3 because one's going to be Basaccio. So technically, they really only have to interview 3 people. And then
honestly, the interview with Basaccio is probably just going to be along the lines of, hey, you feel like being an assistant to Jim Harbaugh? That's really all it'll be. So,
yeah.
The final topic of the day is something I've been very curious about to see how you guys would think. The divisional round is this weekend. Now, we're not giving our predictions, but each guy or each quarterback is kind of in their own little different circumstance, right? This is the first time your buddy over there, Ron, your buddy Matthew Stafford, first time he's been in a position where he can actually win a Super Bowl. This is Joe Burrow's first opportunity in the playoffs. See what he can do with there. Jimmy G looks to change the whole reputation he has. Aaron Rodgers wants to get back to the Super Bowl. Tom Brady's for some reason still playing football. The Chiefs look to get redemption against the Bills while the Bills try to prove that they are the team of the future. Bengals, Titans, and by the way, Ryan Tannehill is also there. Bengals, Titans, Niners, Packers, Rams, Bucks, Bills, Chiefs. Which quarterback, I'm going to start with you, Jay. Which quarterback has the most pressure on him to win this weekend?
Yeah, I'm going with Matt Stafford. I'm going to go with Matt Stafford simply because, you know, he didn't, you know, with Detroit, you know, the knock on him was, well, he's in Detroit, you know, so nobody really expects him to do anything, this, that, and the other. And they try to make a case for how good he was. And he is good. He was, I think he did a good job. And then he goes to LA. So he doesn't really have an excuse anymore of why he doesn't have a championship or why he can't get a playoff win. So he has to basically decide his critics and actually say that he's a legit guy. He's going to have to do something with the Rams to prove that. And I think if he doesn't do that, then it's going to basically, you know, it's going to solidify what other people have thought about maybe Matt Stafford is that he can't win the big one.
Okay. Dustin, you agree?
I think Matt Stafford is second on that list only because he has Tom Brady this weekend. And if he loses to Tom Brady, it's not just a playoff loss. It's a playoff loss to Tom Brady. So it's going to look slightly different than if he would have lost to Arizona last week or if he would lose to San Francisco or something down the road. I think the one and only quarterback that has the most pressure is Aaron Rodgers. Plain and simple. The guy is 6-8 in the postseason since they won the Super Bowl. He's 0-3 in the NFC Championship game since he made it to the Super Bowl. 0-2 in the NFC Championship game at Lambeau Field. If he can't get it done this weekend or if he can't get it done in the postseason this year, people are going to wonder if he's ever going to get another ring because I think legitimately this is his last real shot to have a shot at getting to the Super Bowl. And if he don't get it this year, he's not getting back.
Chris, do you agree? Or do you think another, like, for instance, we have a comment here that says Ryan Tannehill is under the most pressure. Who you think got the most pressure heading into the divisional round?
Matt Stafford, for the same reasons as Jay was talking, because right now the narrative is it was always Detroit's fault. If he don't do something with the Rams, it's going to switch to Matt Stafford. Just all he can do is gain stats, but he can't win you the big game. And him getting that first playoff win last week with only throwing the 17 passes and not really having a big playoff moment where he had to make a play to win the game, he really hasn't showed that yet. So I think he needs to show that this week, or it's going to flip on him.
So then my question to Chris and Jay then, what if he goes out and throws 45 times, throws for like 410 yards with 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, and they still lose? At that point, you really can't put that on Stafford. Then he would have just gotten beat by Tom Brady, who probably played a worse game than him, but yet they still lost because the Rams somehow lost that game. Because we've seen Stafford have games like that where he's thrown 4 touchdowns and 0 picks, 400 yards passing, and yet they still somehow lose the game for some reason. Yep. And at that point, you can't put that on Stafford.
Right, bro, 100%. No way. The only way you can put it on Stafford, let's be fair, is if you just hate Matthew Stafford. Yeah. That's all it really comes down to. That's the only way you can really put it on.
If you look at their first meeting this year, Matthew Stafford had 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and threw for like 330 yards, and Tom Brady had 450 yards passing, but had 2 interceptions, and the Rams won by 10. So if Stafford goes and has 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and then Brady goes and throws for 400 some yards, and the Rams still lose, at that point, I mean, there's nothing you can really say. They just lost to a better quarterback and a better team, and that can't fall on Stafford because it's not like he's facing Jimmy Garoppolo or Kyler Murray right now. He's facing Tom Brady, who has more playoff wins against the NFC in 2 years than the rest of the NFC quarterbacks have against the NFC field the last 5 years.
But again,
I do think. I mean, he has to perform, right? I mean, if he performs,
that's what I'm saying. He has to perform well.
As long as he performs and they lose, it's fine. He just can't be the reason. That's it.
Yeah.
As long as he's not the reason that they lost, then it is what it is. Ron, do you agree?
Disagree.
Let me hear it.
I feel like regardless of what happens when it comes to Matthew Stafford, he is still going to be secured to be the Rams quarterback. I look at the Titans, the 49ers, and Packers. All of those quarterbacks have more on the line this playoff weekend. They're going to be playing for the next step of their careers. Jimmy Garoppolo, Aaron Rodgers, and Ryan Tannehill.
Okay. Interesting. So who do you think has the most pressure this weekend to win?
Dustin hit it on the nail. Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Then Jimmy Garoppolo. And you got to throw Ryan Tannehill up in there. He has all his weapons. Titans got the bye. They're loaded. Should be able to get it done at home.
Okay.
And the
Rob.
funny thing is what Ron just said. If you listen to like sports talk radio up in Wisconsin, where I'm from, there is a lot of Wisconsin radio hosts that are picking the 49ers to beat the Packers right now. For the exact thing that Ron and me both said, that Rodgers has the most pressure on him to win now. And outside of that Super Bowl, he really hasn't shown that he can win in a must-win situation.
The 49ers are dangerous.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Let's not pretend.
Debo is dangerous.
Yeah, no, he's a problem. As long as Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't do something stupid. That interception he had against Dallas was completely dumb. He does something like that again, they're gonna lose.
And that's my thing. I mean, look, yeah, I mean, we took our loss to Garoppolo, but in all intents and purposes, we really should have won that game. But we did. I don't think there's no way he goes into Aaron Rodgers territory in Green Bay, does that performance, and comes out with a W. He's gonna go. So I don't know how dangerous they really are.
Well, it's their run game. Let's be honest.
Colin Kaepernick went into Green Bay and threw for 151 yards with 3 interceptions, and the Niners still beat the Packers 2017 in the NFC division game.
And Jimmy Garoppolo just did it 2 years ago when he took the Niners to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, took on the Packers at San Francisco. He threw the ball 8 times. Was 6 of 8 for 121 yards passing. The Niners had almost 300 yards rushing and made the Packers look like complete dog crap.
Rob, let me ask you, who do you think has the most pressure in terms of the quarterbacks? Who has the most pressure to win this weekend?
I have to agree with the Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has a lot of pressure on him because he wants to put himself in that GOAT status, that elite status. And with just one Super Bowl win, with all the playoff blunders that the Packers have had, Aaron Rodgers is up there. I'm gonna go with Josh Allen. Josh Allen has a lot of pressure to win, especially after the performance you just had on the New England Patriots. You're going against Kansas City again. You beat them in the regular season, but this is the same team you lost to last year in the AFC Championship game. And then I'm gonna have to go with Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford, you got your first playoff win. Can you capitalize on that W? Can you get the Rams to the Holy Grail? Because as we all argued with a couple of shows ago, Jared Goff did, and they traded Jared Goff for you. They traded a lot for you. Can Matthew Stafford do it?
Nobody's going to be mad at Matthew Stafford for losing to the GOAT.
No, they won't be.
It's going to be okay in LA.
With what St. Louis? I mean, I'm sorry, not St. Louis. With what Los Angeles gave up for Matthew Stafford and to put the team together?
I see it as, I like what you said about Josh Allen as well. I don't think they have pressure to win. I think they have pressure to compete. Like if Josh Allen goes out and gets spanked by the Chiefs, then it's going to be a problem. But if he loses to Mahomes 38-35,
no, it's not going to get any better.
Same thing for Matthew Stafford.
You got to look at
get blown out, and it better be a 3-point game.
Buffalo has the number 1 defense in the league right now. It's not going to get any better than that. You have to win. You have to get what they say. Take the good while the getting is good. You know what I'm saying? You have to capitalize on these situations. And right now, I don't care what anybody says. The Los Angeles Rams has the most pressure on them out of any team.
I disagree.
You gambled.
I think Sean McVay went all in. It's not just as much on the line as Matthew Stafford does. I think both coach and quarterback have a lot on the line, right? I mean, just for what they've given up. I mean, it's crazy.
No.
The only reason why I'm putting more pressure,
absolutely. How you go all in? How you go all in and not come away with the Super Bowl championship?
You go all in.
Ask Aaron Rodgers and the Packers how they go all in and not come away with the Super Bowl.
I mean, I get what you're saying too. They do have time.
But yeah, let's be fair here. If they lose this year, the Rams still have probably another 2 years.
How old is Stafford? What is he? I know he's in his 30s, isn't he?
Yeah, but listen, don't get it twisted. The window is closing. Let's not front. But
yeah, damn sure ain't no.
I get what you're saying. That losing to the GOAT is admirable. and I agree with you. But also at the same time, we're talking about a GOAT who's lost his 2 top receivers. If you lose to Tom Brady, because the pressure is definitely on that defense, you bring in Von Miller, Leonard
Yeah.
Floyd, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald. You got all these dudes on the same defense. First of all, if they let the Buccaneers outscore them, that's a problem. But if Matthew Stafford cannot put points on the board, then what was the trade really for? What was the trade
The
for?
Buccaneers have a good defense though too. They have a good front seven.
They have a great run defense.
Yeah. And that's what the Rams need to do to give Matthew Stafford the most success is run the football. If they can't run the football and Stafford's forced to pass 40 to 50 times, that's where the problem comes in because the more he throws, the more likely it is to turn it over. The only other reason why I'm putting more pressure on Rodgers at this point, 49ers are 3-0 against the Packers in their last 3 playoff games. And if you look at who the quarterbacks were during those playoff games, Jimmy Garoppolo, Colin Kaepernick, and Alex Smith. Those 3 guys beat Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers is a million times better than all 3 of those quarterbacks put together, and yet for whatever reason, he cannot beat this San Francisco 49ers team in the postseason. And it's because of the way the 49ers play football. It's physical, it's get-in-your-face football, and it's run the ball until you can't stop the run. It's going to be single digits in Green Bay this weekend. The 49ers are going to run the football. They don't care how cold it is. They're going to run the football. The Packers are going to refuse to run the football more than they should. They have a good combo in Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, but they're still going to put most of that pressure on Aaron Rodgers' shoulders. The more the 49ers can control the clock, the more they keep Aaron Rodgers off the field, and any sort of pressure you can get on Aaron Rodgers is a good thing in the playoffs. It's just not a good matchup for the Packers, which is why the 49ers have had so much success against them in the playoffs.
I'll be honest. I don't think anybody in these playoffs is feeling any type of pressure at all other than Aaron Rodgers.
What?
Let me explain why. Let me explain why, Rob. Let me explain. Jimmy Garoppolo is gone either way. Let's be fair here. When you trade up to draft a replacement and you're not a top 5 quarterback, the writing is on the wall. At this point, the Niners are trying to figure out whether they're going to trade Jimmy Garoppolo this offseason or if they're going to give him another opportunity next year so that way he can just walk. So there's no pressure on him.
I agree with that.
Right? Now, when it comes to Ryan Tannehill, is the pressure really on him?
No, who thought Ryan Tannehill would do what he did? Who thought Tennessee would be in the first place without Derrick Henry?
He's a perfect underdog.
There's no pressure
story
on Ryan Tannehill right now.
Exactly. There's none whatsoever because if Derrick Henry doesn't play, it's if they had Derrick Henry, it's a whole separate thing. So that's out. Okay. I'm literally gonna go through every single quarterback just so that way I hit them all on the head because I don't want no one yelling at me or anything like that.
Well, look at the private chat pride. Look what I just put in there. That sums up, I think, why you were gonna say that Rodgers has the most pressure.
Exactly. The only one I disagree with is the Stafford point, but I'll get there in a minute. Like Dustin said, Bengals, he's a rookie. Joe Burrow's a rookie. Give him, you know what I mean? If he loses, it's not the end of the world. Now, if he goes far, great. If he loses, not the end of the world. It is what it is. The Rams, let's not act like it's a one and done for the Rams. They'll still have, I said 2, Dustin said 3. Regardless, they still have a couple more years where they still have a legitimate chance.
Stafford's there. Stafford's got 3 years left, so as long as Stafford's there, they have
exactly. Yeah. So matter of fact, let's meet up at the 3 years. We'll say 3 years. They still have a chance. Is the window closing? Sure, but let's be fair. That's every team unless you're a dynasty. Let's be honest, right? If you're not a dynasty, that window's always going to be closing, but they still could make something work. So that's the Rams, right? The Bills have been inconsistent all year. So would there be pressure for them to stop the inconsistency? It's like the same, and Jay, I don't mean to pick on you, but it's the same thing with Dallas. Dallas has been inconsistent.
Yeah.
So why would you expect them to stop being inconsistent? That's how I look at the Bills, right? The Chiefs really have no pressure whatsoever because let's be honest, it's the Chiefs division. which leaves one man. He's only one man. Aaron Rodgers. This is the same dude who year in and year out, he gets a pass. Every time he gets a pass. And it will never cease to amaze me how many passes he truly gets. He had the one time he went to the Super Bowl. Good for him. Since then, he's had a couple one and dones. A couple times he played only 2 games. A couple times he played 3. There are times where in the playoffs he has a pass. He's got a completion percentage of under 50%. I'm sorry, under 57%. I'm sorry. There are times where he's passing. First is the one I'm looking at right here. He did it twice. So in 2015, he played 2 games, had a completion percentage of 56.3%. But again, it was the defense's fault. Let's look at another time he threw under percent. The year after he won a Super Bowl. 56.5%. Aaron Rodgers has always had the excuse of, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
And what you just said too, look at the year the Packers went 15-1 in 2014. New York Giants come into Lambeau Field in the divisional game, and Aaron Rodgers looks like crap. Packers lose 20-17, and who is Aaron Rodgers blaming? The defense. Defense didn't play that bad.
Aaron Rodgers looked like crap
let you
against
down.
Caleb Payne.
It was the offense that let you down after going 15-1 in the regular season, winning the NFC by 4 games. And you let a 9-7 Giants team come into Lambeau Field and lead that game from start to finish.
100%. 110%. And again, but we also we need to be, and again, this is why I'm saying,
Aaron Rodgers is starting to become the James Harden of the NFL. Great regular season player.
He's always been
But
that.
when the postseason comes, he doesn't show up. We know this about Aaron Rodgers.
In his
That's why I
defense-
don't put any stock into it.
In his defense, though, a lot of the play calling from McCarthy and even some of the play calls that Matt LaFleur gave him last year kind of screwed the Packers over, especially against Tampa, when instead of going for it on 4th down, you kick a field goal and gave the ball back to Tampa Bay and they ended up basically running out the clock. But as a veteran like Aaron Rodgers, you should know the situation and know that, no, we're not kicking a field goal right now. We're going for the touchdown to tie this game. No coach is going to be mad at you if you audible the play call that sends in and it works. No coach is going to be mad at you if it doesn't work and you pin them back deep in their own territory.
Which, by the way, let's be fair here.
And Aaron Rodgers, though.
And but let's be fair here. Before that, let's be honest. Before that, he was audibling. To your point, Dustin, he's audibling in the entire regular season multiple times. Let's be fair here. Aaron Rodgers has been audibling since what? Probably his second full year he played.
Yeah, well, they said since about 2012 is when he started audibling the calls that Mike McCarthy sent in. So basically going on 10 years now, if he doesn't like the call, he'll change it at the line of scrimmage, and the coach hates it. But if it's working, what coach is going to be like, don't do that again?
Exactly. And on top of that, you're in a situation where, what are they going to do? Trade you? You gave them the ultimatum, and guess what they did? They fired Mike McCarthy, right? So he's audibling. But he doesn't. When it matters, he doesn't want to. Do you know what that tells me? That tells me that's a dude who understands we're gonna lose. I prepare the excuses ahead of time. Let's just be honest here. That's what he does. Because when he sees the writing on the wall, he then all of a sudden goes, you know what? I did my best. No, Aaron. You're right. Let's be fair here. When you're getting dominated, and in that same Giants playoff game, you are missing wide open receivers. But again, nobody wants to talk about that.
And
He's missing wide open receivers, but it's not Aaron's fault. Me personally, I don't think anybody got pressure on them other than Aaron Rodgers.
No, and for me,
so. And before I let you go, Dustin,
that's fine.
The reason is because if Aaron Rodgers loses this one, there's no more excuses. What can you say? You have no excuse whatsoever. You can't blame anybody else because you've been sucking this team for this year ever since that whole debacle came, and you did PR control, and you've been saying you love this team, they're your boys, all this stuff. Now there's no excuses. See, with everybody else, there's somewhere they go from here if they lose.
Mm-hmm.
If the Titans lose, okay, let's get back a healthy King Henry, and we're fine. If the Chiefs lose, let's be fair here. It was a rough season. Buffalo probably played a better game. It is what it is. And same thing, vice versa. Whoever wins that game is just they're the winner because they're the better team. Just know there's really no pressure like that like them at all. If the Rams lose, look, bro, first year, and we're in the playoffs. First year, play Tampa. Come on, we're on the right track. Everyone has a place to go from here, except Aaron Rodgers. Because when Aaron Rodgers takes the L, guess what? Those people who look for excuses, they're going to start reaching, and they're going to start looking dumb. And we're just going to be chilling and saying, look, it's time to say Aaron Rodgers was a one-hit wonder. It's time to have that conversation. It's time to say that Aaron Rodgers, great quarterback, but he's not, we got to chill out on all this talk about him being the greatest of all time. Like, you know what I mean? Because, again, let's be fair here. We used to kill Peyton Manning. We used to assassinate his name. And I'm a Patriots fan. I hate Peyton Manning. I hate him. I hate him with a passion. Hate him, right? But when he couldn't hack it in the playoffs, we slandered his name, we crucified him, and we treated him like dirt. It's about time we do that to Aaron Rodgers. Because if we could do it to him, if Tom Brady could throw over 500 yards in the Super Bowl against the Eagles and lose, and we can kill him for it, if we can do that, we should be able to criticize Aaron Rodgers. We should be able to.
Absolutely.
And this is the toughest part about things for me because I live in Wisconsin and I'm not a Packer fan, so I get tortured by every Packer fan out there. But you have had 2 of the 5 best quarterbacks in franchise history for 32 years, and you have 2 Super Bowls to show for it. Mm-hmm. 2. One from Favre, one from Rodgers. And Favre at least got you to 2 Super Bowls in back-to-back years.
And then he kind of did his help. Let me ask you a question,
Rob, because I'm just saying, like, at what point can you just basically say, yes, I understand the Packers have all these NFL championships from the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, like pre-Super Bowl era. But at what point can you say the Green Bay Packers are one of the greatest regular season franchises in history, but they can't cut it in the playoffs? Because they can't.
Real quick, Ron, you're snickering. Why are you laughing? Are you going to defend Aaron Rodgers or something? What's going on?
No. Dustin shut me up just now what he said. I love that stat over the past, 38 years?
32 years. You've had Aaron Rodgers for 17, and you had Favre for like 15 or 16.
Yeah, only 2 Super Bowls. That is 4 decades of incredible quarterback play. That is very disappointing. Then I think about who we're comparing Aaron Rodgers to. Eli got 2. Big Ben got 2.
Manning got 2.
Manning, of course, got 2.
Big Ben got to 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah, he's basically tied with Mahomes, if we're being honest.
Russell Wilson got to 2 Super Bowls. Mahomes got to 2 Super Bowls.
So if I don't think he wants to stay in Green Bay next year. So as this last year in Green Bay, he's got to make it happen.
You got to remember, Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers also posted that last dance thing in the beginning of the season. If they don't win, that's going to hinder on their heads for the rest of their NFL career that they could get it done in their last dance. That alone is why I put
of an NFC Championship loss.
Yeah, it'll be crazy. But Rob, what I said, did it satisfy you in any way? Do you at least see where I'm coming from?
I can.
Okay.
I can.
Okay,
I'm not mad at what you're saying. All I know is the Rams also have some pressure on them. I'm not denying that Aaron Rodgers doesn't have pressure. He has a lot of pressure, especially being like I said, trying to be put into that upper echelon of quarterback. But the Rams, after going all in, it's Super Bowl or bust to me.
Let's see what happens.
Hey,
Chris.
hey, Pride, do you like Elliot Wolf?
Hold on. Before you go, Dustin, I just want to say one thing. Chris, Colts suck. Dustin, what were you saying?
Do you like Elliot Wolf,
Who's that?
the Pat senior consultant? You work.
That old. I mean, I've always made this joke. I mean, he doesn't really consult shit, to be honest, because, you know.
Okay, well, do you think he would be a good GM fit for Minnesota since he's the favorite to get their GM job right now?
I think. I don't want to say he'll suck. Don't get it twisted, right? I think he'll be pretty solid in there because you have stuff to work with. You're not in a horrible situation. You got some maneuverability. I think he'll be fine. I think so. I will tell this to people though. Don't think he's phenomenal. Don't think he's great because, and I'm gonna sound disrespectful, but he doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
he doesn't do anything in New England, right? So I don't know what Minnesota will really get for him or from him. I don't know what they'll get because for all we know, he could be another brainiac like Belichick, and he could bring that mentality where it's like, you know, I'm gonna get rid of you early rather than too late. But it could also be a guy who says, "Oh, I see a whole bunch of flaws in what he does. Let me change everything," and then it ends up going kaput. So, but I think that would be the best place for him to go if he leaves New England. Because
he's got a second interview with Minnesota today.
If he goes to if he goes anywhere, I think he either goes there. If it somehow doesn't work out, the only other place I can see him going to would be the Raiders. I think he will go to a situation where he has some pieces and he has a little bit of maneuverability, so that way he can try to make something happen. You know what I mean? Like the Giants, no, I don't think he goes in unless he wants to just full blown. And like I said it before, whoever goes to the Giants, you need to blow it up and you just need to rebuild, like a legitimate rebuild. Don't be ducking it. Just do a full blown rebuild. But yeah, and we'll see. I mean, how many times have a guy gotten a second interview and not walked away with the job? You know what I mean? Basically, when you get that second interview,
it's pretty much a done deal.
Exactly. You know what I mean? They call it a second interview, but the second interview is just ironing out the details, the formalities, how long the contract is going to be, how much you're going to get paid, and all that stuff, right? Like, that's just them really ironing it out. So, if the Vikings get it, I think it's a solid pickup for them. I really do. And I think for Wolf, it's a perfect place to go because think about it. You got room to maneuver. You know what I mean? And like I said, if he doesn't go there, the Raiders will be another solid place. You got some room, you got some wiggle room, you can kind of still do what you want. So I think he's in a good place either way. So
yeah. I think the biggest thing is that it's going to be a juicy offseason in the NFL. It's going to be a lot of moving parts.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely going to be juicy.
So it's going to be love.
Usually the NBA offseason's better. I think NFL might really compete this year.
I think this year, and I said it before, I think this NFL offseason has the potential to be the greatest offseason in recent memory, bro. It's got that potential, bro.
You know what's horrible is that Matt McCarthy might actually come back next year.
Oh no!
No, he is. No, he is. He is. And you want to know why? You want to know why? But let's be honest. Listen, bro. Remember, it's easy for us to forget. Remember 2 years ago how desperate Jerry Jones was to get Mike McCarthy. He let Mike McCarthy have a sleepover at his house, bro. They had a slumber party. Jay. You got to deal with it. He's staying, bro.
Man, and that was, hey, you know what? I told my wife, man. I was like, you know, the only way the Cowboys ever get better is when, and I hate to say this to somebody, but is when that man, and no. Here's what's worse, Pride. So even if he passes away, the team most likely will just shift down to Stephen Jones.
Yep.
And that's like a whole nother 30 years of hell.
Honestly, it's a younger Jerry Jones.
Yes.
Stephen Jones is Jerry Jones who just went in the time machine and traveled back in time.
Yes.
He's gonna do the
How
same
much
exact
purgatory? How much purgatory can I listen? I am going to be 50 years old this year. That means by the time Stephen Jones dies and he goes to somebody else, I'll be 80 freaking years old before I have a chance at the Super Bowl, man.
Nah, bro. Honestly, I think you'll be gone. I think Stephen Jones will hang around just as long as Jerry Jones. Jerry's like what, 187 years old? I think Stephen Jones is gonna somehow hang around just as long, if not longer than him, bro.
Yeah.
Imagine if Jerry Jones is 111 years old, still doing the interviews after every game. Oh my God.
He'll still be down on the sidelines.
I just don't understand. You know what I don't understand is how can a man's ego be so big as to just and you know he hears everybody's commentary. You know he hears all of what we're talking about, right? From other people like the culture, it's Jerry Jones world. You know he's gonna hear all this. Is he just so from a businessman standpoint, is he just that damn ignorant or to let your ego just keep doing what you're doing? I mean, don't you want to get a Super Bowl? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Jay,
You know
there's a reason why that scoreboard in Dallas is so big. His head's gotten so big, he's got to watch the game on something.
Shut up.
I get it, man. But at some point, don't you just get tired of
his
being
head
like,
don't cramp
man.
when he's writing those checks. He wants that Super Bowl.
But here's the thing. And again, if you guys disagree with me, let me know. But I want to answer your question, Jay. We need to remember a lot of the Dallas Cowboys fan base are just casual fans. They're not people who know how to break the game down. They're just casual, right? So when every year you hear people say, I think Dak Prescott's a top 5 quarterback. I think Ezekiel Elliott is the best running back in the league. And Amari Cooper, he's a top 2 wide receiver in the league. And CeeDee Lamb, he's coming up. He's one of the best. When you hear all that stuff, right? The casual fan just says, this is our year. This is our year. This is our year. And we need to be honest, just as much as Jerry Jones hears the outsiders like me and Chris and Ron and Dustin say, you know, there are holes, you know, they're just not going to make it this year.
Right.
He hears just as much, if not more, of the casual fans who are screaming, this is our year. And Jerry Jones is going to pay attention more to the Dallas Cowboys fan base, regardless if they're casual or not, because that's the fan base that he wants to appease. And if they're constantly saying we're going in the right direction, we're going to the right direction, we're going to the right direction, Jerry Jones is going to say, all right, to home, and he's going to keep trudging forward, you know?
Yeah.
So I wholeheartedly believe it's just a lot of the Dallas Cowboys fan base, and Jay, you even know this, a lot of them are casual. They don't, you know what I mean? They don't understand football, you know? But it's just trendy to be a Cowboys fan. So while they're screaming it, Jerry Jones hears that and he goes, oh, well, my fan base, they love what I'm doing. So I gotta be doing something right. I have to be going in the right direction.
Yeah, even though they haven't won a Super Bowl, they're always one of the top viewed teams every week. Their game gets one of the most views. They're still one of the most popular teams, even though they haven't won in 25 years or something since they won the last Super Bowl.
Yeah, I've had people listen. I've had people told me when they went 7-9 that they were a threat to win the Super Bowl. Swear to God.
Yeah.
I had people say that this.
I was just hoping that we could at least win the division. I thought that. Like you said, man. I thought that was a freaking lottery. I thought that was my Super Bowl.
Yeah, no. You were acting like me when the Patriots played the Bills. This is a Super Bowl, and after this, we're going to get completely destroyed. But let me just win this one, so that way we'll be good.
It didn't surprise me that McCarthy's coming back either, because look how long it took Jerry Jones to fire Jason Garrett.
I know, man. I was like,
almost 10 years.
Jason Garrett was there 6 years too long.
Yep.
Yeah, he was definitely there 6 years. And then even if we did let go of McCarthy, like you said, I agree with you. I think they just elevate Kellen Moore, and we all know. I even know Kellen Moore's not the answer either.
Yeah, and it's funny. Anthony Price was saying this. He's brought this up multiple times. Like, are we giving Kellen Moore? And Ron, let me start with you asking this. Do you think we're giving Kellen Moore a pass? Because again, we always scream how much of an offensive-minded guru he is, but then when he's like the Avatar when the world needed him the most, he vanished, and the dude just completely disappears, or he ends up like and honestly, Jay, swear to God, I thought Joe Judge got fired from the Giants and immediately just started working for the Cowboys because they were making just a lot of weird calls that just made no sense whatsoever. And I understand, we gotta put this some on Mike McCarthy, of course. But Rob, are we giving Kellen Moore a pass?
I know you just said Rob.
I know, my bad, Ron. That's on me, my bad. I was hoping you would notice. My bad, Ron.
Real quick, the Dallas Cowboys had sort of a down year with expectations, and they still shine. They excelled in all statistical categories for the most part. Some of the best stats. Dak threw the most touchdowns ever. So when it comes to the offensive coordinator, I don't think we should be looking at him sideways. I think it's McCarthy. I think Kellen Moore did a pretty good job.
The Cowboys need more motion in their offense? They have like almost zero motion in their offense.
And it's weird. The only person who motions is the person who never gets the ball. I don't know if you noticed it, but like when Michael Gallup, before he went down, let's be honest, like Michael Gallup would be running motion and then immediately gets ignored the entire time.
Right.
Like while the plays are unfolding, there's even times in Jay, obviously you watch Cowboys games, so there have been times CeeDee Lamb was in motion and they basically kind of turned their back to him. So it's
absolutely.
Like you said, they hardly use motions, but even when they do, whoever's motioning, whether it be Schultz, their tight end, whether it be Zeke, Tony Pollard, whoever they motion is basically a dummy. And I don't mean dummy in terms of like dumb, but just a dummy, like just a diversion. Because, Jay, it's like when you're motioned, you're just taken out of the play.
Right. Exactly. And I think the defense has caught on to that, too. And I think that's why it makes them what kind of got them so predictable. Even when they play the 49ers, they got a lot of predictability because there was nothing there to make it different, to make you think otherwise.
Dustin, question. Can you read what you put in the private chat? I just want to hear you say it.
Kellen Moore may call the plays, but Fat McCarthy still overrides those plays and has the final decision on what plays is called.
Yo,
Fat McCarthy.
Yo, I read it and I was like, I need to hear Dustin say it, bro. Like I have to. And I feel bad for Mike McCarthy.
I don't.
I don't. Wow,
He was in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers for 13 years.
Right.
And got one Super Bowl out of him. I don't feel bad for him anymore at all.
Nah, but the thing is I've said this before and I'll say it again. It doesn't matter what head coach you put with Aaron Rodgers, you're not winning more than one Super Bowl.
Oh, I know that, but I'm just saying I don't feel bad for him at all. He brought it on himself.
Nah, I feel bad for him in this instant. And I'm gonna tell you why. I believe he shouldn't be taking the brunt of the blame.
Dak.
I don't know. Yeah. Because the thing is, we got to understand something. Look, man. And I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Rob, please agree with me. Do not abandon me again. Ron, you're going to hate me. I know it. Is it time to look in the mirror and finally say, Dak Prescott is just Jimmy Garoppolo who happens to play for the Dallas Cowboys? Is it fair to say that?
No.
Is it fair? Because I believe do I think he's horrible? No, I don't think he's a bad quarterback.
He's more skilled than Jimmy G, but
I'm just saying, man.
I think Dak Prescott is a bigger version of Kirk Cousins.
yes.
I would go more that direction. I would go more that direction. Yeah,
I'll concede. I'll concede. But however, put it on my grave that Pride said Dak Prescott is like Jimmy Garoppolo.
Consistently win.
I'm just saying this. I'll concede to you, Dustin. We'll agree, but I want it on my tombstone when I die. I don't want nothing that I'm a father. I don't want my birth date or my death date on it. I don't want no beloved son. Nope. I don't want none of that. On my grave, Dak Prescott equals Jimmy G.
But you know what, though? I'll say this. I think if Brian Flores could have got that job, which he's not. We all know that. But I'm just saying, hypothetically, Brian Flores gets the Cowboys coaching job. I think this team could be Super Bowl contenders, man.
I don't think
I
so.
think he transforms it. I think he brings a discipline to that team.
Is Jerry Jones gonna get out of his way?
That's the
No.
that right there.
No,
is the
that's
answer.
everyone said hypothetically.
Yeah.
You probably missed that word there, Rob. I said hypothetically, damn it.
I love you, Jay.
I will
Jay,
say
and
this,
look,
Jay.
Jay, you're such a good guy. I hate to do this to you.
Don't
Yeah,
do
I
it.
know.
The Cowboys are not winning as long as Jerry Jones has.
I
control
get it.
of
I
the team.
just
He
said
knows
that.
Yeah, he knows that. Jay knows that, and he.
Hey,
admitted
listen,
it,
no,
and
I'm
he said-
about to hear this. I just told you, Rob.
Yep.
I'm gonna be. Let me tell you what's gonna happen.
And by the way, and real
Jerry
quick,
Jones
Jay,
is
let
gonna
me
at
say
the
something real
price
quick, Jay.
point.
Let
Hey,
me
the
just say
price
something real quick.
point.
And Rob, everything he's about to say, he said it while you were in the meeting. This is real life. This is not just him changing it because you're here. He actually said this. Go ahead, Jay.
Hey, listen, and at the price point, I think Jerry Jones goes to 111 years old, dies. The team gets passed down to Stephen Jones, and we get another 111 years of that. So, to be honest, the world, Jesus may come and bring us to heaven before the Cowboys can win because of the Jones factor.
You know what though?
Rob, this
I
is real
will.
life. He actually said this. This is real life. I swear to God, he said this.
I will say this though. I don't think Stephen Jones has the cojones that Jerry Jones have. So you might actually luck up.
Nah, but you know what I think?
He's
will
got to
happen?
have the cojones.
One
of
could
those
only
Jerry Jones
hope.
to take him
One
out of
could
the-
only hope, man.
Wait, hold on. Dustin, what'd you say?
I said he better have the cojones because otherwise Jerry Jones will take him out of his will.
100%. Listen, I say this as a joke, but when Jerry Jones passes away, right, he won't really be dead. It's just him taking a nap underground. Because the instant Stephen Jones messes up, it's gonna be like the cow. It's gonna be like one of those scary movies.
It's gonna be like Michael
And it-
Keaton in Beetlejuice. He's gonna like rip that grave up and come out of the ground and be like, "Give me my team back."
No, you know what? That's what it's going to be.
Be like-
At 103 years old, when he says, "You know what? I'm gonna pass the team down to Stephen Jones, but I want you to understand, I'm gonna be cryogenically frozen. So that when this dude fucks up, pardon my French, when he messes up, you will uncryogenically freeze me, so I can go there, slap him in the balls, and put somebody else in power."
bro.
He's
Rob,
gonna hibernate like Victor in Underworld.
no, Rob. You know what he's gonna be like, Rob. This is what he's gonna do, right? We're gonna be there. He's gonna bury him, but they're not gonna put him in a coffin. No. Because we need to wait for Jerry Jones to climb out. It's gonna be like the end of the movie, right?
It's gonna be like the Frozen Man in Encino Man, and they're gonna stick him in the press box next to his son.
Yo, Rob, it's gonna be like the end of the movies, right? It's gonna be like the year 2053, right? And Jerry Jones is gonna be in the owner's box, like, fuck, we lost again. Everyone's walking off the field, and then it's gonna pan over to the parking lot, and then to like a field that they purchased to bury Jerry Jones, and then there's gonna zoom into a specific point. All of a sudden, a hand just comes up. It's just like an old decrepit hand. It's like part deteriorated. You see some bones, and all of a sudden you just see this. And then you just see like an old Super Bowl ring from like Troy Aikman era. And then it's like, oh God, Jerry Jones is back. And then that's just the good thing.
He said the Troy Aikman era. God, it has been that long.
Yeah. I don't even think Chris was born or Ron. I think Ron probably wasn't even born during that era. Matter of fact, Rob, I don't know how old you were, but you may not have even been. Hell, you know what? I might be the only one here from the Troy Aikman era.
No, I was born in Troy Aikman era.
I was born. I just didn't care.
When did Troy Aikman retire?
Hey, watch this. If you were at home watching the Super Bowl of the Troy Aikman era and you're on this panel, raise your hand. Okay. Oh, damn. Okay. That's like, okay. All right. That was more than what I thought. So
I watched it, but on replay, does that count? I found it on YouTube. Does that count?
No, Brian.
Sure,
no, Brian. You had to
I'm
actually be
finding
there
out.
on the couch watching it.
Hold on, because I want to see something.
I
was 7 years old. That was the first Super Bowl I watched.
I got to witness the Jordan era. I'm cool with that.
I was like 13.
Hey, listen,
13,
that's even
14
better,
years
man.
old.
Jeez. Most young cats don't realize the Jordan era. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I lived in Chicago, man.
Jay, have you seen?
I remember when the Bulls would win, and we would go to Ford City and go get our repeat shirts, our three-piece shirts, and the parades at Grant Park. Man, those were the good old days.
Matter of fact, now hold on. Anthony Price says Jerry Jones is the type of person if he dies wants to be cremated. I contend with this. Here's my rebuttal. I think Jerry Jones wants to be buried on the field. And I think he'll just wait for them to win a Super
He
Bowl.
just wants to be cremated in all the footballs that Dallas uses.
By the way, 1996 was the last time the Dallas Cowboys won a Super Bowl. For context, I was born in 97.
I was 7 years old. I was watching it.
I've been 16 years old last time.
Wait a minute. How old are you, Chris?
41.
What the?
Well, in all fairness,
it's the beard. It's the beard.
A few wrinkles there. Although I am the oldest Chris on this panel at 50, but that's okay. And I look better than Chris.
Jay, you look like bro.
I actually look younger. If I shave off my beard, y'all would think I was in my late 30s.
No, you look
young.
I'm
in my 50s.
You have my 50s. Nah, bro. But look, 1996. For context, I was born in 97.
Wow.
I
graduated high school in 91. That's so silly.
I have one life goal now. That's it. I have one life goal. I don't care if I'm rich. I don't care what happens to my life. I need to be alive as long as this Cowboys drought. I'm changing what I'm putting on my gravestone. When Dallas wins the Super Bowl, I'm gonna kill myself, right? So that way on my gravestone we put Pride was responsible for the Dallas Cowboys drought. I want all the credit.
That's hilarious.
I want
Pride,
all
so
the
you've
credit.
pretty much never seen a successful Cowboys team or season.
No.
Wow. Cowboys fans.
Ever. Oh my God. Bro, I honestly feel like the chosen one. I'm Neo. Neo, bro.
They're cursed. They're the new version of the Red Sox.
Come on.
What was their coach's name back in the 96?
No slander over here.
Jerry Jones did my guy dirty.
Come on, Pride. Get out of your little ego box and look how long it was before the Red Sox got that damn championship. It was forever. It was a long damn time.
A whole damn century.
It was man, it felt good. It felt great, dog. I was watching it. I remember I'm sitting there watching it, and I remember I was like,
hell of a comeback by that team, by the way. Hell of a comeback.
Bro. By the way, one more time. Say it one time, bro.
Hell of a comeback.
Fuck the Yankees. Oíste, loco. Ahí mismo te vamos a jugar, coñazo. Mira, yo te digo, look. The Red Sox, bro, we back. We taking over, oíste. We taking over. You feel me? This is, right now, MLB belongs to the Boston Red Sox. It is our world. Y'all teams just living in it.
I think you guys.
Now you're overstepping, but okay.
Nah.
I think the Red Sox cursed themselves again.
It's not going to look good for us.
Hold on, what a great! Oh my God, I cannot wait to hear that.
Wow. Real quick, Dustin. I know you got to sign off. You should have 2 facts of the day, right?
Yeah, I got the one that I just posted because that one was for Rob since he's a Chicago guy.
Oh, let me hear it. Okay. No, go ahead and say it. We want to
hear it. So since 2001, the Chicago Cubs and Chicago White Sox have played 3,470 games. They have the identical record of 1735 and 1735.
Imagine. Do you know how perfect that has to be for the planets to line up that perfectly?
And both teams have won a World Series in the 2000s. So shout out.
Like, come on, dog. That's crazy. And then you should have one more for us, Dustin.
Yep. And since the beginning of the last decade, so going back to 2012, there are only 5 NFL teams that have averaged 10 wins a season. Can you name the 5?
So in this last decade.
So from 2011 through 2021, since it just turned to 2022.
So each team in that time span, there are 5 teams that won 10 games.
That averaged 10 wins.
That averaged 10 wins? All right, it's got to be the Patriots up there, right?
Patriots are number 1 at 125.
The Chiefs?
Chiefs have 96.
Okay.
What's the question?
Since beginning of the 2011 NFL season, so going back the last 10 years, there's only been 5 teams in the NFL that have averaged 10 wins a season, which would have given them 100 wins in the decade. Can you name the 5 teams?
Okay.
So in the last 10 years,
was Green Bay in there?
Green Bay's got 102.
So Patriots, Green Bay, the Saints?
Saints are at 100 even.
So that's 3. No, it can't be. No, it can't be the Colts because they had a couple down years.
Nope.
Yeah,
Colts are at 80. Colts are 82 and
The
78.
Colts would have been the
You
decade
said the last
before
10
that,
years.
when they
Yep,
were
last 10 years.
Would Pittsburgh be in that?
Pittsburgh's at 102.
4. So we got one more, right?
Is it Seahawks? No, not Seahawks.
Yep. Who said Seahawks?
Me.
Jay.
They're 159 and 1.
Go ahead,
That
Jay.
teamwork make the dream work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Jay. Yes, sir.
Way to
Yo,
bring
and
it
by
home,
the way,
Jay.
Rob, just letting you know, this is the first time he's done one of those stat of the days that we have not given up on. This is the first time that we.
Yeah,
got
that
it.
was. That's
So
true.
this is-
You,
so this is the
you
first time that we-
mentally drained me on this one, but yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good.
But nah, cause listen, I'm telling you, Rob, if you ever want those, just any type of statistic,
Anything.
tag Dustin in the group
Anything.
chat, this dude will somehow find it. I don't know how. I am convinced that he low key is a hacker and he just hacked into the NFL's database, and that's how he's able to find all this stuff just so quick and efficiently, Rob.
No, it's actually because when I actually watch football games or basketball games or baseball games, I don't just watch it to watch the product on the field. I actually pick up on weird shit that nobody would pick up on, and I just have one of those memories where when I see something, I can retain it.
What's it called?
Hey, watch this. Rob, ask the stat guy how many nude scenes that J-Lo's been involved in. He'll give you the nude scene.
Hold on.
That is
Hold on.
not sports
3.
related.
3. 2 of them in the same movie. Anaconda. You're welcome. Yeah.
So we all watch Inside the NBA. So Dustin's our underdog.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Put it on a
Yes,
t-shirt.
sir. Yes, sir. Yo, honestly, Dustin low-key might be better than Underdog. He low-key might. The only thing Underdog got on Dustin is the catchphrase. That's it. Other than that,
Hey, well, the four-letter acronym is ASAP, right? Hey, he give you those stats as soon as possible.
yo, Rob, but he's not a rapper. He's not a rapper. All right, my boy Rob, he's not a rapper. All right, my guy, oh man, I'm hot. Nah, that's just Rob spitting flames right now, boy. Oh man, this was fun. This has been ASAP in the morning. Definitely was fun. Ron, do not go MIA again. You feel me? Because I know what's gonna happen with Ron, right? The Rams are gonna lose, and he's gonna disappear out the face of the planet. That's what he's gonna do, right? He's gonna disappear.
God, if the
feel me?
Rams
So,
lose, oh.
Yeah, so understand something, Ron. You can't duck me. You feel me? Because I'm on you. You feel me? Like brown on wheat bread. Yeah.
You know what, Pride, you and Jake, y'all took y'all whippings like men, so I got much respect. For y'all.
Exactly. He got
Jay,
a
listen.
lot of hurt in his chest.
Jay took it and he swallowed it. I said in the group chat, if the Bills don't drop 50, I'll take this as a win. They stopped at 47, but he's so thirsty. So I was like, we good. Yo, dog, it's crazy. The Bills scored a touchdown on every possession except for one. Do you know which possession they didn't score on?
The last one on the kneel down.
The last one on the kneel down.
Hey, look,
It was so lit. They
the
stopped
eighth one.
themselves. That's how bored they got.
I said the 8th one.
Chiefs did the same thing though. Outside of their first 2 possessions, they went 7 straight possessions with a touchdown after their first 2.
Which is
Then they
so
punted it on their last one.
It's just so disrespectful. It's just so disrespectful. I'd rather, you know what? No, don't score again because it would have been over 50, and then I would have had to take a sabbatical. Are
we all in favor of telling Buffalo and Kansas City to leave the punters home this weekend?
I'm gonna tell you this right now. You know what, Dustin? Let's make the game fun. First one to punt loses. That's it. Right? It's not going 4 quarters, right? Whoever punts first, you're lost, and that's it. And that's how we're doing it.
Yeah. I think that game's probably going to come down to whoever has the ball last.
Yep. Time of possession, baby.
I'm honestly, that's what I really do. I think it's who's gonna make that crucial defensive stop. That's what I think, because both offenses are high powered. It's gonna come down to who makes that one defensive play. And I know Buffalo has the better defensive play, but the second half of the season, this Chiefs defense has been very opportunistic. They just need to be opportunistic. That's it. You're just a little bit opportunistic. You take that one good play, turn into an interception, you know what I mean? It's going to be.
And not to mention, nothing would satisfy me more as a Chicago Bears fan than to see Aaron Rodgers fall on his face.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm begging for it. That one, I want him to fall on his face, and I want Brady to fall on his face. Damn it, I want to see somebody different.
Jay, you lost me there. You lost me there, Jay.
I
lost me there.
I was with you, Jay. I was with you. Top rate. Now you lost me a little bit. Come on, man.
You lost
Hey,
me there.
listen. Like I said, I don't have no skin in the game. I really don't. I'm a Cowboys fan. I don't have no skin. So what do I want to see? I want to see Matthew Stafford and the Rams win. That's what I want to see.
No,
I do.
Honestly, I want to see.
I want to see that.
Them. And also, I want to see. Let's say if they lose, I want to see how they bounce back next year. Because I just hope they don't have this mentality of like, if we don't win this year, it's all over. Because like I said, they do got a couple more years. You know, Dustin said we got Matthew Stafford for 3 more years. You got 3 more years. You can still make something happen. You'll get Robert Woods back next year.
Yeah, but in them 3 years, are they going to be able to keep them defensive stars that they have? And
Thank
stuff?
you, Chris.
You know, Von Miller's
Chris.
getting old. How old is Darnold? How old is he?
29.
Yeah, he's a young
Oh,
guy.
okay. So he's still got a few more years in him. But
we're talking
let's be
about
honest,
money.
I mean,
we're talking about money.
Yeah, they're talking about trying to keep out of the cap, which.
oh yeah, well that too. I mean, yeah.
The Rams have that
Leonard
money
Floyd,
tree that we
he's
were
gonna
talking
want to
about the
get
other day.
paid.
No, you weren't on this. This was on one of the nighttime shows that ASAP had. I said the Rams called Axel Foley at Wonder World and found out how to print NFL dollars because they don't have a salary cap to worry about.
Yeah, that's true.
LeBron
That's
James'
hilarious.
son Bryce is now listed at 6'3". At 14 years old.
Who?
LeBron's if this is true.
At 6'3", that's it?
If this is true, that's it.
There's a 14-year-old freshman at the high school that I cover that is 6'6", 224 pounds.
What do these kids eat, man?
And he's getting recruited by like every D1 school in the nation right now. He's
so it's steroids, right?
He's like just a freak of nature, like an absolute freak of nature. He's 6'6", 220.
Remember what Zion was in high school?
Yeah,
that was ridiculous, dude. He was literally out there playing
he was
with
a grown man. I don't
like
think
a small fry
a
team.
high school guy play with middle school kids.
Yeah, no, he was a grown
yeah.
man.
That's what this freshman looks like. He turns 15 in April, and he's 6'6", 220 right now. And he just makes all these like seniors look small who are like 6'7", 200.
God bless genetics.
Honestly,
Yeah.
bro,
It's all the food. I'm telling you, man, that food we be eating. Oh, they be putting some stuff in it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, tomatoes don't look like that in the natural forest.
No,
They're not big, plump, and red like that.
and what really bothers me, man, is like you see a guy that you call him a freak. I look down, I see nothing, and they call me a freak. Yet I'm an outcast, and he's a great. By the way, y'all gonna get that one later. Trust me, y'all gonna get that one later. It's gonna sit. Matter of fact, hold on. Because now Rob looking at me funny, and it just put it in the private chat. I'm referring it to myself.
No,
that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like,
Hold on, I got that one. Listen, Pride, you are who we thought you were. You are who we thought you were, okay? No, I'm not laughing. Because I already kind of knew that. Now, put the polar opposite in that chat. Put the opposite of that. Now you done got me laughing.
Now you caught me in the lie, huh?
Oh God! I just want to say I love you guys, man.
Oh, bro, listen, it's always fun being here, man. It's always fun. But on behalf of Jay, Dustin, Ron, Chris, and Rob, it's your boy Pride. We'll be back here 10 Eastern, 9 Central. Until then, y'all know what to do. Be safe. And Ron, don't be ducking me.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.